On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we're going to talk about the new Black Widow movie and the state of the movie industry in general. We talk about the huge showing of both The Mandalorian and WandaVision on today's Emmy nominations. There's a bunch of cool geeky projects that were announced this week. We'll talk about that. And in about 30 minutes, we're all going to take our shirts off, so stay tuned for that.
No.
We're going to see who's paying attention now.
Nobody wants to see that, man. Come on.
You know, I swear I could probably say anything on those intros because, like, most of the people come onto these things, 2 or 3 minutes after we start. We're going to find out. We're going to find out this time. So today I am joined by Shawn.
Hello.
There he is. And Walt.
How you doing, everyone?
There he is. And we're also joined by our buddy Steve. There he is.
Hello, hello.
He has a very cool Akira poster behind him.
That's my pride and joy.
That's what's up. All right, folks. We are broadcasting live from my Facebook account, which is that right there, and from YouTube, which is that right there, and from Twitter, once again, because Twitter we got pretty good stuff on Twitter, so we're back there again. We're looking for guests for Task Force Geek, either to do an interview or to join us right here on this show. Particularly if you do independent comics, that's our big thing. But really anything geeky, if you write books, you do movies, you do games, anything like that, we want to talk to you. Get in touch with me at taskforcegeek@gmail.com, and we will hook you up on that. Where's our share team? If you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, then please share this right now so that your platform becomes our platform and we can maybe meet a few new people. We sure would appreciate that. Finally, we have a new Discord server, which for the life of me, I can't find out what the heck the thing is on that. But if you're on Discord, look for Task Force Geek and join us on there. I don't know.
I can't find
teach my ass how to get a link that works all the time. Because every time I have a link, it works like for 10 minutes, and then later it doesn't work. So you tell me. I don't know. Okay? That's it. Buy our t-shirts. It's right there. This is the way it's going to be tonight, folks.
Sweet Jesus.
Hold on, I
Here we
gotta
go.
adjust. This is starting to get a little. All right, now we're good.
Here we go. There's only one of us that didn't see Black Widow, and it's Steve.
Oh, come on, man.
It's Steve. Where is it? It's down here? Right down about in this area? Didn't see Black Widow. That's okay. Man. We're not going to spoil it for anyone who's watching this thing. We're just going to talk in general about what we thought about the deal. Maybe give a spoiler-free review. I know that Walt saw it today. He saw it for the show.
All right. Well, I appreciate the invite. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it. So even Steve will not have anything spoiled for him, despite the fact that he can go see it. Just to set this up, to tee it up a little bit, Black Widow opened with what they're calling a new pandemic record. So since all of this silliness happened, it made more money than any other in North America, any other movie that's been released since, let's say, February of last year, something like that. It made about $80 million in North America, and I think that the real thing is that it made $60 million on Disney Plus. So if you think that the like day and date release of stuff on Disney Plus is going away, we can talk about that a little bit. They made 80 million in the theaters, 60 million on Disney Plus, and then plus some other money elsewhere, around the world and stuff. Not bad. I think it made $218 million over the weekend. Not bad. Not bad.
It's more than
So, yeah, certainly. I mean, not shabby.
Definitely.
But, if it had been released, let's say, in 2019, then with Black Widow and what it is, they probably would have been looking at about
800, 900 million.
well, maybe not the first week, but
Yeah.
maybe 300
Overall.
to 500
Yeah.
that first week worldwide, and
Yeah.
that ain't happening, folks. So anyway, if you want to talk about the money they made or how the what you think of them doing that on Disney Plus, offering and making money on Disney Plus, please talk about that. And also, what do you think of the movie? I want to know that. And so I know that Shawn and I went to see it on Friday night. And so first, I'm going to go to Shawn on those questions.
Dude, you asked like 75 questions. I have no frigging clue.
You can take any. Start with the movie. What did you think of the movie, man?
I enjoyed it. It wasn't.
Hey to Maxine.
Hey, Mom.
Hi.
What's up,
Did
Mama?
we call your name?
What? You're
She
not
asked if we called her name. I don't think we called her name, but
No.
we're always happy to have her.
always. As far as breaking new ground in the MCU, it didn't. But it was fun. It was enjoyable. I have no complaints. In fact, I would say that, and forgive me because names are not coming to me today.
I get you. We'll help.
The sister,
Yeah, Yelena.
Oh, yeah, Yelena.
The girl who played Yelena.
the actress.
Yes,
Puth, is that right?
I think that is correct.
Alicia?
Police.
Is that right? I mean,
Wow.
that's probably wrong.
We should. Someone look this up.
Anyway, she
On it.
was the standout for me. She was.
You liked her.
I thought she was fantastic. She was very unique from
Florence.
everybody. Florence Pugh.
Florence. There you go.
And what?
The,
Check her IMDb. What has she been in before this?
everything. She was in a horror film a couple of years back, I believe,
Late-
Somerville.
Lady Macbeth.
I don't think I said Sweet Jesus, but
I said
Oh,
Little-
Shawn said Sweet Jesus.
Little Women. Midsummer.
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 Fighting with My Family.
There we go. Midsummer's where I
She's-
know her from.
She,
Whoa. Was she fighting with my family?
Yeah.
she was. I think she was. She's in with Chris. There's so many Chris's. Chris Pine in that like King of Scotland or something.
Outlaw King.
I believe she's in that.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, she's in that. I'm reading the IMDb right now.
Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you thought she was good.
I thought she was fantastic. Again, she was unlike everybody else. She was kind of a unique character unto herself, and she's literally the only one that maintained a Russian accent throughout the entire movie.
Right.
Correct.
She did.
Correct.
I thought she was great, and if this was a passing of the baton or passing of the torch for her moving forward in the MCU, I'm all about it.
I mean, I'd
think
say
she was
that-
fantastic,
I'd say that's exactly what it is.
and I think she's going to do great moving forward.
I will confirm that, but I'm not going to say how I'm going to confirm it. So
So what do you think about the money that it made? Do you think that was decent?
Well, I mean, in the current climate, yeah, I think they did. I think they did great.
I mean, it's better.
I
It
think
did
it's,
better than Fast and Furious. It did better than Godzilla.
Fast and the Furious died with Paul Walker. I'm sorry.
yeah.
If
I don't
there is
necessarily
never-
disagree, but
If there is never another Fast and the Furious movie, thank you, Jesus.
there will be 140 more.
Well, they keep making money, so they're going to keep making.
Exactly.
And now there's a TV series coming
There-
on.
There's a animated series on Netflix,
Of course there is.
and it's in its second season right now.
See, that's like a spike right in my eyeball.
I wasn't even aware of that.
But I will say this. It has none of the characters from the movies.
No, but there is a driving challenge show coming on. Is it
Yeah.
Discovery? I think with Michelle Rodriguez.
That's what Shawn was talking about there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's her name? It's already got one that's on Netflix. That's pretty damn good. So similar.
Yeah.
Anyway,
anyway, the Fast and Furious franchise died to me with the Paul Walker. God rest your soul. It was a perfect send-off. It was a perfect way to end that series. It was beautiful. It was heartfelt. They want to talk about family all the damn time. This was a beautiful send-off for family.
Shawn, there's money to be made. They have to jump cars between buildings, and they have to send cars into space.
Then make it something other than
they're going to fight kaiju.
Literally.
It's the next thing they're fighting kaiju.
Then make it something other than Fast and Furious. Call it Toretto's
Fast and Furious versus kaiju.
Yeah.
Just end it.
Just
getting back to the MCU.
Pacific Furious.
Fast and Furious goes to Mars.
Okay, I'm done. Moving on. You're killing me here. Hello,
Betty.
Hello, Betty.
Emma. As far as the money that it made, it fantastic. I think it's a shame that they weren't able to open during
last year.
Yeah, or even during the events that shall not be named. It's a shame. I think there's a lot that they missed out on due to what happened, and I doubt that that's going to have an effect on we're not going to do another one because we didn't make any money. No, it's not. That's not going to work, because obviously the fans want to see it. The fans want more of this, and I'm looking forward to whatever direction they take it in. Obviously, they set it up for sequels, but as all Marvel movies do. But I enjoyed it. I had fun. I like the characters. Personally, I want to see the Russian Avengers. I want to see those characters brought to life through the MCU lens. Those will be fun. That would be interesting, especially if you can have them, going against a group of Avengers, maybe the Young Avengers, facing off against Crimson Dynamo and and whatever. I think that would be a blast. I'm glad they made the money that they did, and the fact that they made the amounts that they did. Coming back, theaters reopening, and so on. I'm happy. I'm happy that they did as well as they did. Scarlett Johansson should have been the first female comic book star, and everybody knows it.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that she didn't get that spotlight when she should have, and she proved it here that character is enduring, and her portrayal of that character is equally fun and enjoyable. So, rock and roll.
Had to kill a gnat.
Of course you did.
Not just randomly clapping. Okay. Well, what do you think about what did you think about the movie?
It's a good movie. So, I won't say that it's not going to rank in that.
Don't spoil anything, man.
It's not gonna like immediately blow you away. I'm just gonna put that to you, but it's a good movie compared to some of the other movies that I saw this week that went straight to streaming, which I will talk about later. But other than that, I can't believe it made so much money as it did streaming.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
That's kind of a shock to me too.
That's incredible.
Check me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've ever given us a figure for these things.
Not until now.
I mean, they've had about 3 or 4 movies that they've put out.
Mulan was
or-
the first.
Okay.
Raya,
not
Raya.
Raya.
and I want to say that there was one more, and I can't remember what that one. Oh,
They've never released figures. They said they were very happy,
Yeah.
but they never
Cruella.
released figures.
Cruella.
Yep.
Yeah, Cruella.
No numbers for those.
Was there
But this
another
one
one
they
in there?
told you.
Yeah,
This one they
Mulan
told you
was there?
$60 million.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just collecting money, folks. They
They-
don't. Also, the most important thing about that for people who are playing the home game is that they don't have to split that money with anyone.
Right.
That's just pure profit.
right.
And unlike they make $80 million with the theaters get a piece of that. Maybe not a lot. Maybe the theaters get 30-40%.
Not on Disney film.
Right.
Yeah.
But anything anything goes through Disney Plus is pure profit. They share with no one.
I forgot the percentage that Disney asked for in the theaters. I want to say it's something like
lot.
it's like 60, 70,
I
maybe
want to say it
80%.
was. I think
Yeah.
it was 75.
I want to
why
say
if
it was
you-
around 75%. So like I went and saw it today at a matinee, which was $5 plus. Since I ordered online, there was a $2.27 added service fee for letting the computer do its thing without human contact.
Right.
But anyway,
Well, I probably
yeah.
streamed it too. Except, man, that's what it's $29.95 on top of your subscription
Right.
cost.
right.
No way,
Yeah.
man. I'm going to go to the theater in lieu of streaming
but
it.
their reasoning for that is you get it for the whole month, so you can watch it over and over again. For
Oh,
the
I
whole
didn't
month.
know that.
Yeah,
But,
but
If you
Right.
have a family of 3, you're probably making out pretty good.
right.
If you had, if it's 3 people that were going to go,
Well, what was it?
and you're going.
Our movie ticket was $11.
Ours was $11, so you got more
So-
than 3 people going.
Yeah.
You
Plus-
could stay at home and order some pizza,
Plus
and
the popcorn,
Yeah.
plus the
Now-
soda, plus
Now
the,
here's the thing, because Disney's taking so much of a percentage of the ticket sales. My hot dog and small Dr. Pepper was more than my ticket.
yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
I paid $7.27 for my ticket, and I paid $10.50 for
Yeah.
a hot dog
Yeah.
and a small.
And you know what? If you
And
want the
if
theaters
you
to
know,
stick around,
it was
if you
this
wanted
big.
to stick around, you got to pick up some juju beans or whatever,
Yeah, exactly.
whatever it is.
Some thin mints. You gotta
Thin
get
mints.
thin
go ahead,
mints.
Sean. Call him out.
What
I
in
like.
the hell is a juju bean?
Thank
I don't
you.
know.
It's real. Juju beans are real.
I don't know. I like the peanut M&Ms.
JUJUBEANS. Juju beans.
Juju
I
beans.
see coffee. Juju bean coffee.
Nope,
Yeah.
that's not it.
Well, no crap. I mean, you're not gonna be chomping down on juju bean coffee beans in a movie theater.
Or
Probably not.
are
Not
you?
at not at 10 p.m. Probably.
Hang on. There's juju bees.
That's
Okay,
probably
Juju
it.
beans.
That's it.
There are juju bees.
All right.
JUJUBES.
All right.
That's it.
All right. There you go.
But juju
Ju-
beans, you're gonna be percolating that.
Jim says, personally for me, I love Black Widow. Tons of action, great humor, and he loved
Yes.
David Harbour.
David Harbour was fun.
See, I'm having a hard time getting past Hopper. I mean, it's still every time I see him, I don't care what he's in. I just watched No Sudden Move, and he's in that as well. But
He's
all
in
I
a lot
could
of
see-
stuff. He was Hellboy.
Oh yeah,
So-
but all I could see was Hopper. I'm like,
Terrible.
Come on, man.
Hellboy.
Yeah, agreed.
That whole Hellboy
It's
venture was
yeah,
ill-conceived.
it was terrible. Not his fault.
Not his fault.
I'm
No,
not saying
no.
he was a
No.
terrible.
No,
Hellboy.
and he was fine. He
Not
got
his fault.
he got the kind of the gruffness of
He was a good
him.
Hellboy.
You know,
It was it was too much spectacle, not enough story.
Walt.
Suffice to say, I look forward to hearing Hopper speak with a Russian accent.
He
let me
did it
just warn you,
mostly. He
no
did it
spoilers.
mostly.
But he breaks that.
There's
He's
a
I
like-
can imagine.
He's kind of like Kevin Costner in
Kevin Costner in
in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
You know,
Kind of like that.
I'm speaking Russian, but now I'm from Boston, and oh wait, I'm back in Russia. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
he was a double agent, you know.
This is true.
Paid? Come on.
Walt, did you have anything else you wanted to say about Black Widow?
As usual, when you watch a Marvel movie, sit all the way through the credits. That's it.
You got to stick around to the end on this one, folks. I mean,
Always sit through the credits.
when people are getting up. I was sitting right next to Sean. Sean's like, "How do they not know? How do they not know? I mean, it's been 10 years.
It's been over 10 years, and there's
the
always
secret's
another-
out, folks.
Yeah.
There's usually something that happens at the end. You should stick around.
What kills me, and this has happened on multiple occasions with multiple MCU movies, I will be at work and somebody will say, "What do you mean? There was something after the credits?" And it's like, dude,
How do you not
Right.
know?
Yeah.
what,
Right. Where you been? Where you been?
When has there not?
Where
Yeah.
you been?
We're 18 years into these things, folks. If
I
you
mean,
haven't figured that out by
Come
now.
on, man.
Where you
Come
been?
on. Everyone
Where you
is.
been?
Everyone else is doing that now. Ashell says, I haven't gotten to see Black Widow yet. I'm glad to hear that you liked it. I can't wait to
Yes.
see it.
I'm not alone. Yay!
You're not alone. You're not alone. We went to, I mean, to be fair, we went to see it with Jim. So
And
one
to
of
be
the people
fair,
that's chimed in went with it.
Michelle, I saw it today. So
There you go. Right. Walt saw it for the sake of the show.
And in theory, I would have gone to see it with Walt, except he lives on the other side of the planet from where I am.
Oh, okay.
So-
we literally have a county between the two of us.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's a lot of space, especially in Dallas, where getting on the highway is always an adventure.
Yes, it is.
But I did
It's
go
like,
see I did go see F9 though.
Oh, now we see
saw
where
that.
your loyalties lie.
I saw that. What was it?
It was Friday.
You said something about
See, this is my guilty face.
after 3 minutes, you already knew the entire plot of the series, and yet
Hard to believe.
you were there.
No, well, I actually had high hopes for that entire franchise, but it had the first 3 minutes of the first movie, and they were done.
I guarantee you that Ashell didn't see us from the beginning, or she'd be asking how long until something happens.
Right. Right.
But I can live with my bad decisions. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see Black Widow tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean
promise.
that's the
I
reason why.
promise.
Look, that's the reason why I didn't want to spoil things tonight, because I know that a lot of people haven't seen it. I mean, we're still talking about. I mean, that's kind of what I really want to talk about, is the fact that the movie industry hasn't entirely returned yet, and I know that some people will be seeing it on Disney Plus. Apparently, I mean, $60 million is no joke, I think that people over maybe the next few weeks are going to make their way to the theaters as they find out that people are not dropping dead from the virus or whatever. Whatever their apprehensions are, whatever their apprehensions are going to be gone at some point. About Black Widow, I think that look, it is not Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I mean, that was what some people said. I would put it in the mid-range of Marvel movies, which is not a bad thing. I'd say that Marvel movies range from a low C to a high A, and I would put this at about a B+. I think it was a solid effort. I wish that because the events of this movie were set right after Captain America: Civil War, it would have been nice to have seen this movie right after Captain America: Civil War. I will also note that there is a vest that appears in this thing that Scarlett Johansson wore in Infinity War.
That's it.
So you might want to.
Yeah, that's it.
You might want to keep an eye out for that. I think that if you removed David Harbour from this movie, that you would have removed about 50% of the great lines.
Yeah.
He was. He really delivered these lines. I mean, not just funny lines. Although his comic time, I've never seen David Harbour better. He was really good in this. I really liked his character in this. I would love to see some more David Harbour in the future, and I hope that we do. He was excellent. It was great to see Scarlett Johansson do a movie that is pretty much Black Widow does James Bond.
That's what I was going to compare it to.
It was pretty much a James Bond movie. I would have, if I was doing a James Bond movie with Black Widow, I would have had a scene where she dresses up and goes into a casino or something and wins a poker game or some deal like that. A little bit more. There's not a lot of dazzling scenes like that where they go to Monte Carlo or something. If you're really doing James Bond, you should have kind of done something like that where everyone gets to dress up. Mostly, it's not like that. I really do like Yelena, the new. Look, it's the new Black Widow, folks. You're going to see her. She was also great. I mean, for someone who we didn't know before this movie, I mean, suddenly she's got a lot of presence in this film. I mean, she's really good. Her lines and her character and her development is also really good. So anyway, I give it a B plus. B plus is pretty good, folks. And I really enjoyed it. But I think maybe the most important thing is just really happy to see the MCU back in theaters again.
Yes.
And us, getting back to what we do here, which is seeing some new stuffs. What, Michelle? What you missed? You got to go back at the beginning and see it. I'm not repeating it.
And you won't be able to see that till we're done.
You got to be here at the beginning. That's all I'm saying. You missed the beginning. You missed the good stuffs.
Because there's always a quiz at the end.
Right, there'll be a quiz. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, three of us did go back to the theater. I just want to talk about kind of, what it's like. I mean, when was the last time we went, Shawn?
It would have been New Mutants last year.
Okay. Was that like
I want to say that was like August.
Okay, August of last year. And then they shut everything down again around here for a little bit because then it got really crazy. It got pretty crazy for a few months. And then I think AMC theaters opened up maybe earlier this year. And the theater that we go to is Regal, which I want to talk about for just a second.
Regal shut down all of their
shut
stuff.
down the whole show. I mean, all the way across into Regal's own in England. And they shut everything down for the longest time. But I think it opened up, what, three weeks ago? Something like that?
Something like that.
Is that correct?
I remember we saw Tenet, and then
week
after, week after we saw New Mutants.
New Mutants.
Okay.
And then
they shut it down again. Damn it!
Yeah.
Curses!
So whenever New Mutants came out, there you go. That was the last movie we saw.
That was the last thing, and now it's July, and we got to go back again. We missed a few things there.
To be fair, all four of us actually went back to the theater. Three of us made the right choice. Just saying.
Now, I did go see Godzilla versus Kong in the theater.
Yes, you did do that, didn't you? Yes.
Yeah, I did go see that, and I actually went on a weekend, and I would have to say that I went to the same theater that I saw Black Widow, and I would have to say that there were more people in the theater for Godzilla than there were for Black Widow today.
Okay.
But I mean, I did go in on a Tuesday, so Tuesday matinee theater, and the largest group of people in there was this family. It was mom, dad, grandma, and 3 kids.
Now this is in the middle of the day, though. On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, exactly. So, and then there was me, and I thought it was just them and me, and then I just happened to look over my shoulder, and there's one other person at the very top row sitting munching on.
I'd say that's kind of typical for daytime shows, unless it's a Friday.
Well, but in the summer, I used to do, like, I would take days off in the middle of the week during the summer, and there would be at least half the room would be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a small group.
What I was going to compare it to, the Regal Theater that we go to, which is known as the Warren in Moore, is a theater that we made friends with one of the guys who was a manager up there, and he told us that the sales, the box office at the Moore Warren Theater was in the top 10 in the nation. Okay.
Wow.
So much so that people from Hollywood were coming to visit the Moore Warren just to figure out what the hell we were doing here that was creating such a groundswell of activity.
Tarantino wanted to have the red carpet for Hateful Eight at the Warren.
Really?
But
what happened there? Good God, that would have been amazing.
Because Star Wars was coming out at the same time, and
they wouldn't let him do it.
To do a red carpet, they would have to nix everything else that was coming out, and there's no way.
Wow.
They're not going to release Star Wars.
They should have just eaten it for that one day.
I agree with that.
I think,
but
I agree
it's
with
not
that.
a one-day thing. It's you have to buy the
by
movie.
the week.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's you got to weigh your pros and cons, and Tarantino can suck it. So.
I think that the Moore Warren is a bellwether for how the height. Let's say the heights of how theaters are doing, and I can say that it was strange over the past 7-8 months to drive by on Friday night, drive by that theater and see a completely empty parking lot, because usually, like on a Friday or Saturday night, it's filled all the way out to the highway. I mean, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars filled in a very large. I mean, there's how many theaters are in there? 17.
It's either 14
including an
or
IMAX.
16. It's either 14 or 16, and then the IMAX.
Right. So it's a large complex, folks. And I would say that if you compare on Friday night, I would say they were at about 60-70% capacity, which
This
is pretty
last
good.
Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
60-70. It wasn't completely full, but it was.
That's big.
It was a good night.
The back lot
It was
was
a good
still
night.
little empty, but
So look, the clearly the theater, the theater system is not 100% back, but at least in Oklahoma, we're 60-70% there, and I think that will evolve over the next few months. I know that there's some pretty exciting movies coming out soon. We talked about that, all the stuff that's coming up, and I think that slowly that people will begin to venture out, because who wants to sit in their damn house all the time? Seriously. This is this is your chance to get out and go do something. Most theaters are going to be probably cleaner than hospitals at this point, because they definitely don't want people to go, oh, this thing is not
Let me tell you how clean that theater was today.
Did you leave your shoes there?
You could have taken off your shoes there.
I'm sure that's true.
That's how clean it is.
Because
Sorry, go ahead.
They can't afford to have people put on their their reviews that the place is a pigsty. It would kill it. It's bad enough as it is, but now it would completely kill their. No one's going to go to a theater that they don't feel like it's being cleaned.
And then again, I've taken up the whole Japanese philosophy of cleaning up after myself too. So the attendants,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, the attendants waiting at the door when I came out, I had my empty cup and my hot dog box, and I threw it in the trash. Kid was just like, "Have a good day."
It's kind of like washing your hands. You should have been doing it beforehand anyway.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah, I love
Thank you.
I love. Oh wow, that's so true.
Yeah.
I love the thing like, hey, you should maybe wash your hands. It's like, no shit. Are you an adult? What
Let
the
me ask you
hell?
this.
Why is that a revelation? You should wash your hands.
Right. Right.
Let me ask you a question. When you're at the theaters, were you? I don't know about you, but I ran into kind of the more things change, the more they stay the same type of thing with the theater being severely understaffed. Now I realize that a lot of places are still probably stocking up on employees and all that. But what did y'all run into?
I would say it was pretty well staffed on Friday night.
Okay.
On Friday night.
Yeah, this was on Friday too, and there was only it's like 2 people behind the counter for lines.
There were so many more people in the Regal.
I will say that for a matinee, usually at the place that I go to, which is the North Park Mall over here, usually when I walk in, there's nobody at the counter, the registers, and if there is somebody there, there's one person there. They actually had 2 people there. Nobody was walking up to that. And then they already had somebody ready to check my online ticket on my phone, and then the concession stand was over. Had too many people. I mean, usually there's like one person at each station. They had 4 people working back there, but only one person was working the register. And when I walked up, somebody said, "I can take you over here." So, I
guess my AMC just hadn't figured it out yet. Then,
I was just kind of shocked that I was able to get a hot dog really quick.
All I want is my Coke icing, and I'm good.
There you go. That sounds fantastic.
Our theater, they were very, very well stocked. There
were multiple people taking tickets and everything. It was.
As the lines began to build at the concession stand, they
filled out.
People showed up to take more people at other registers.
They
did a great job of getting everybody.
I didn't have to wait long at all to get, and it was busy. It was busy.
Are you paying attention, Walmart?
Yeah, wow.
And Target, for that matter.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Walmart's just going to replace all of their cashiers with the self.
Well, they already have here. Well, they have 2 cashier lines. Everything else is all self-serve.
All right. I'm going to move on to our next thing, unless someone has something else to say on this.
I wonder if I need to claim that on my taxes. Are you an employee? Yeah. Are you an employee anywhere else? Well, I do register myself at grocery stores. So.
I do check out and bagging every time I go to the grocery store. That might be a loophole. Yeah, but we don't get paid for it, so
I'm watching regular show.
And write off.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe I can use that as a write-off, though.
The loophole is you have to double bag your milk.
And your meats.
And your meats. And the jars.
Your meats. All right, moving on. All right, this is breaking news today. The Emmy nominations came out. What is it, Sean?
I was going to add before I forgot when we were talking about Florence Pugh and all of that, the upcoming Hawkeye TV series on Disney Plus, that Black Widow may or may not be making an appearance in the Hawkeye series. So you may want to see Black Widow to be caught up before that series airs.
God.
It's pretty cool how all of both the Disney Plus series and the movies are completely aligned now.
They are.
Pretty crazy.
There's going to be a box set with all of the Disney Plus series that'll fit right along with your.
That's going to
be a discount price of $80 million.
Right.
Me more.
Exactly.
Me more.
So the Emmys came out today, and I know that most people don't really care about the Emmys, but I think that it's very interesting that, in the past, genre stuff hasn't done anything. I mean, they get completely ignored by family dramas and crap. This year was astounding. You're not going to believe when I tell you who was nominated on these things. Genre stuff is about half of the nominees. Okay, The Mandalorian tied with The Crown for 24 nominations overall. 24 nominations. WandaVision got 23 nominations. Let me go through some of the stuff that's out there. I won't do all of it, but I will mention some of the big ones. Outstanding Drama Series. Are you ready for this? There are eight shows that were nominated. 4 of them are genre shows, including The Boys, The Mandalorian, Lovecraft Country, and The Handmaid's Tale. 4 of 8.
All of those are great.
Outstanding lead includes Jonathan Majors from Lovecraft Country. I'm going to have a hard time saying that.
AKA Kang the Conqueror.
AKA Kang, the guy who's going to play Kang. Outstanding lead actress includes Elizabeth Moss from The Handmaid's Tale and Journey Smollett from Lovecraft Country. Outstanding supporting actor includes 3 people from A Handmaid's Tale, Michael K. Williams from Lovecraft Country. Why can I not say that? and Giancarlo Esposito from the Mandalorian. What? Mm-hmm. How did that happen? Outstanding supporting actress is crammed full from The Handmaid's Tale. No question now.
As it
Outstanding, yeah, right. Outstanding limited series, including a bunch of stuff that I've never heard of and is stupid. Besides that, WandaVision got nominated for Outstanding Limited Series. Outstanding lead actor in a limited series, and this is my special wish right here. If I could pick one person to win this, Paul Bettany from WandaVision was nominated, and man, that guy should win.
Yeah, he should win.
If you've seen that, Hugh Grant and Ewan McGregor were also nominated in that deal, which is pretty crazy. Outstanding lead actress includes Elizabeth Olsen from WandaVision. Outstanding supporting actress in a limited series, Kathryn Hahn from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Also was amazing.
All 3 of them. I think that's a sweep right there. Absolutely right.
They really should win that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they should.
Outstanding guest actor in a drama series includes Courtney B. Vance from Lovecraft Country, Don Cheadle from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, now I got a complaint here. You know, I love Don Cheadle. I love Don Cheadle.
Was in
I think that guy.
5 minutes.
You put him in anything, and it elevates that project no matter what. Because Don Cheadle is a god.
I know you love. You said many times how much you love Don Cheadle.
Why in the world? He's not even in the show, but maybe 2 minutes tops. Tops.
He was only in there briefly, but
is he credited? If he's credited, he's eligible.
I mean,
he's eligible.
The actor that played Isaiah.
Yes.
Oh, he's the guy. You're right.
Yeah.
Then Don. And nothing against Don Cheadle.
Nothing against Don Cheadle.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that. Would he have been a regular cast member on that show?
He would be a guest because he was not.
Okay, Shawn, you've got a great point. Yep, that's a great point.
Oh wow,
that man! I know that man made me want to cry.
Yeah, he was good. He was good, and I hope we see him again.
Fantastic. Absolutely, I would love to see him in more.
They like I keep saying, they need to adapt Truth. They need to adapt Truth. As a Disney Plus series. Also
nominated for Outstanding Guest Actor, Timothy Olyphant in The Mandalorian and Carl Weathers in The Mandalorian. Who would have thought that this
I dig Timothy Olyphant.
silly Star Wars series would have gotten all of that stuff? And then Outstanding Guest Actors is two more women from The Handmaid's Tale. No question about that. So anyway, I guess, the point that I want to make is I'm astounded that so many genre, things, shows were represented here. And it's astounding that The Mandalorian, this is a Star Wars series, it was tied with The Crown. So here's my question to not necessarily who should win. I think we kind of covered a little bit of that. But do you think that there's any chance that anyone is going to win? Do you have any predictions out of what I just said that might take one of those categories?
I don't know. I mean, did you...
it is all about politics. I understand that.
Did you list the nominees for Best Actor in a streaming series?
I didn't. I only listed the
one?
Ones. I went through all of them, and if they didn't have a genre pick, then I didn't mention it.
Well, it's the last I checked. I want to say it was Paul Bettany.
I did.
Oh no, not Paul Bettany. Excuse me. It was what's his name from The Mandalorian?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal versus Anthony Mackie versus Carl Urban versus
I didn't even see that, so I don't know.
The guy from what is it? What's that kind of period piece show that the ladies are watching? It's the black guy in that one. It's all for the. It's all
Outland.
Bridgerton.
My
Those four
mom
guys.
loves Bridgerton.
Those four guys are going up against each other, and all I could say is I saw that list and I went, you know what? I don't care. I don't care who wins. Whoever
I have
wins
no
this,
idea how I don't have that on here.
Whoever wins, I don't care. I'm happy for the guy who wins, and I'm sad for the other guys who lose, because every person that was nominated for that deserves the statue. Every one of them deserves the statue. In fact, they should all just boycott and go, no, we all deserve it, and leave.
I've often spoken about like Carl Urban and wanting him to, and I was hoping that Dredd would have been a franchise that really would have, brought him. It's something that he likes. It's something that he was really, really into. Watching him in The Boys, especially that second
He's in rare form.
I thought he was absolutely amazing. And if he were able to win something, I don't even know if he's nominated, but if he was able to win something for The Boys,
Walt says
the
he was
Boys
nominated.
were okay, then that would be one of my biggest triumphant moments, because I think he's just absolutely
I can't believe
awesome.
The Boys got recognized for outstanding drama series.
Yeah, and as far as Carl Urban, I was flipping around and the Star Trek movie was on, the first one, and I watched it just so I could see his version of Bones.
Oh, absolutely.
And
he
did such an amazing job becoming that character.
He nailed that character.
I mean, we've had conversations in the past. Well, y'all have had conversations in the past. I wasn't on at that time, but I was definitely in the comments section about Paul Bettany, about Carl Urban. How deserving both of those guys are. They've stolen the spotlight so many times and never gotten any recognition for it. Well, I think now's the time they step up. I really do. I really do. Especially Paul Bettany.
If Bettany could have won anything for Infinity War, he should have. Should have, because he again, dude, he's a robot,
right?
And I'm sitting here going, don't let the robot die,
right?
Right.
Don't let the robot die. I mean, Jesus, who does that?
We do that. We do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to make you care so much, or to make you, he's a robot. I mean, Johnny Five was probably the last robot that I was that,
Johnny Five.
And I was wishing for Johnny Five death.
That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
But,
who's Johnny?
Johnny Five is alive.
Johnny Five.
Okay, stop.
Oh my gosh. I'm laughing too hard now. Look,
I'm going down a road.
But this is all the power of the streaming services. I mean, and how it hasn't happened before, especially how it hasn't happened before now, though, is still kind of overwhelming. I think Oh, geez.
It's a knock against ABC, CBS.
It absolutely is. But I just spaced the guy I just spaced the name of the guy that was in The Punisher, the Netflix show.
Bernthal.
Bernthal, John Bernthal.
Thank you.
Oh,
how he didn't pull anything off for that is
exactly.
Oh,
John.
yeah.
Oh, and what's his
John
name from?
Bernthal?
Yeah.
And what's his name from Daredevil too?
Oh yeah. But how it hasn't happened before now is beyond me. But I'm glad that it is finally starting to get the recognition that it deserves. I hope somebody pulls it off.
I do too. I think Paul Bettany has a real shot. I can't imagine anyone seeing him in those first few. I said back when we were talking about those first few episodes of WandaVision, you know, how is Hollywood not calling this guy up to get him on a series right now?
Right.
Because he was so spectacular. And so far off the beaten path with his performance.
As he would say, it was bonkers.
Don't underestimate. Hollywood loves when you make something about Hollywood. And WandaVision was very much about the golden age of television. This is the Emmys. It's possible that WandaVision could slip in there just out of nostalgia for people who work in the television industry. So, that could actually happen there. I'd love to see Elizabeth Olsen get some stuff. And man, I don't think there's any chance that The Boys or The Mandalorian is going to win Best Series, but man, I would love to see that happen. That would be crazy.
The fact that they're putting their name up with the other nominees. Now,
it's huge.
You know, well, you may not know. I know Dirk knows, but I hate award shows. I refuse to watch them. I don't care what they are. I refuse to watch. I will burn my TV before I allow that crap on it.
Wow.
I don't want it to taint my TV. Anyway, I hate award shows.
Too late.
Yeah. I hate award shows, and but I understand their significance and their importance in the industry. And with that being said, I am appreciative that they are being recognized. I appreciate that they are being placed up there with other already recognized dramas and series that gives them a bit more clout than they may have had, previously. I'm glad if you could take a positive from last year. I'm glad to see that this transition to more of a streaming platform has opened people to more genre shows and
we're getting stuff that never would have been produced 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it would not have been produced. Maybe on HBO, maybe.
I'd love to see Bettany win something. I'd love to see Elizabeth Olsen win something. I thought she was fantastic.
I think both of them have to win. I really do. I mean, because their performances in WandaVision were amazing.
I think those first few episodes that everyone was like, I'm bored. They're not punching anyone. I think those first few episodes.
There's the voice.
I've never heard a better impersonation in my life. That was the voice.
I think those first few episodes is what might get them, because those were very straight sitcom style performances, and I think that people in the industry might really appreciate that.
Well, I hate to keep harping on Bernthal, but I mean his whole appearance in The Punisher was what brought him into Hollywood's eye and got him the role of Iwot on Ford versus Ferrari.
Sure.
I mean, that absolutely broke him wide open. And I'm glad that he's getting that recognition because he's outstanding too.
I was a fan of his.
Charlie Cox.
I was a fan of Bernthal going back to season 1 of The Walking Dead. And his characterization of Shane, and he nailed it from the comic. I thought he did a fantastic job there. And then of course he took it into his own. He took it into his own direction and made the character his and whatnot. But he's been doing stuff in movies, for years, and no one No one really
No
paid
one.
attention to him because he was just kind of a secondary character and whatnot. And then you're right, he plays the Punisher, and then suddenly everybody's eyes are focused on him.
On
And
him.
I'm like,
I had no
oh,
idea who he was. I never watched The Walking Dead. I was never a big fan. I don't know why it just never clicked with me. But when I got to the Punisher and I saw him do what he does, that I was like, all right, that dude's going places.
He was
And
inspired casting for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd seen him in other movies where he wasn't a main character. Like he was in a movie with Ben Affleck as Ben Affleck's younger brother or something like that.
The Accountant
The
Yeah.
Accountant. That's right. He was in
Yeah.
The Accountant.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Such a good movie.
That's
If
a
you
great
guys
movie,
haven't
but I
seen
don't
The
remember him
Accountant,
being in there.
He
Yeah,
was the
he was-
brother.
he's the
He was
brother.
the brother. He's
Okay.
Ben Affleck's brother.
Sorry, spoiler.
Well,
Oh yeah, that is kind of a major part of that movie.
apparently I'm going to
Right.
revisit that one. Okay.
If you're into World War II films,
No.
watch Fury
Yep.
with
Oh,
Brad Pitt.
brilliant. Yeah.
He was the ammunition.
Yeah.
I believe.
He's another guy that's been around for a long time, but probably
Yeah,
has
he's
risen
in a
to
number-
prominence.
He's in
But
a
he-
number of movies.
Definitely
again,
slipped under my
he's-
radar.
He's just a side character in that, but he created such a unique character in that role. Actually, everybody in that movie was absolutely fantastic. But
Even
I'm
Brad
going.
Pitt.
I'm going off. Yeah, even Brad Pitt and
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf, who nobody seems to like in Hollywood, I thought was magnificent in that. Everybody. I just love that movie.
I think Shia LaBeouf's really good. I just think he's nuts.
Well, he's batshit crazy. I mean,
He's
there's
crackers.
He is, truly.
There's no doubt, and in fact, I think he would even admit that he's.
He might not
batshit
argue with you.
crazy. But there's that thin line between.
As long as he knows, it's all good. It's all good with me. So
there's that thin line between between insanity and genius.
Genius.
right.
He's
He
right
has
in
his
that
moments.
He's
He
right.
has his
line.
moments
Right
for
in
sure.
that line, man.
My brother is on the razor's edge.
And he's kind of slipping towards that insanity. He's tilting.
All right, guys, I'm going to go on to the next thing. Unless you have something else to say on this, on the Emmys. All right.
No, the Emmys suck. I don't care.
Go Paul Bettany.
Go Paul Bettany. Yeah,
Go Paul Bettany.
I'll be rooting him for him
Truly.
for sure.
Let's go genre. Let's go genre.
Yeah, fact.
All right, there's new stuff coming soon. There's like in the Taskforce Geek Facebook group, people keep sharing stuff that it's like, I can't believe they're making that. I can't believe they're making that. I can't believe they're making that. So it's been, a week or two, and I just picked 3 of the things. I mean, honestly, I could have picked about 5 or 6 announcements that they've come, but I just picked 3 that I thought was kind of interesting. But I'm going to call an audible here. Wait a minute, we got a comment.
Oh, geez.
Mm-hmm.
Shell says, I'm still laughing about Walt's mom's comment earlier. She's hilarious. Sweet Jesus.
Did somebody call my name?
Everyone everyone who watches this show, contributes largely to this thing when they comment in, and we deeply appreciate it. They do make the show, including Steve.
I got to be honest.
And
Every
including
time,
you,
every
including
week,
you, Michelle, and including Maxine.
every week when I comment, I'm like, okay, I really need to shut up now. I really need to shut up now. 'Cause because I'm like, comment, and I'm like, okay, Steve.
No,
calm down,
it
man.
makes
Calm
it
down.
better.
Yeah, it makes it better.
It makes it better. There's a reason why I encourage everyone to chime in with your thoughts and stuff, because it makes it better. It's like having a few extra
Think of
people
it this
involved
way.
in the deal.
You're serving up the softball, and we're going to knock it out of the park.
That's right. That's right. It helps. And, sometimes we can't come up with a name or something, and you guys help us out with that. It's a big deal. Okay, so anyway, I am calling an audible on this, and I'm going to, because today Shawn shared a wonderful thing that was created by Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi, that is a strange combination, a strange convergence of a bunch of different things. And I think instead of setting it up, I'll talk about it here in just a minute. I'm just going to play a snippet of that thing.
You have no sound.
Muted.
You guys can't hear it?
No.
No sound.
Muted.
Well, crud. He says he was raised by avocados. Well, shoot. Anyway, what happened is you've got a Fox movie that has been sitting around, collecting dust because they couldn't release it last year. It's done. It stars Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi, but it's now owned by Disney, who owns the Marvel characters. So they had Ryan Reynolds play Deadpool, and they had Taika Waititi play Korg, and they did like a reaction video to this Free Guy thing, and it is hilarious.
Starring Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi.
Right. So, I mean, but they're playing, and it costs money to have Deadpool do his stuff because they have to animate his eyes.
And it costs even more
and Korg
Yeah.
is fully animated.
Right.
They had to spend money. This was not some silly thing that they did on the fly. They had to spend big money to have Korg participate in this thing too. Anyway, if you haven't, I'm sorry that the sound. I thought the sound was going to come out on that.
In addition to that, I'd like to add that.
There's Jesse.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
In addition to that, I'd like to add that I think it was either last year or around Christmas of 2019. And I want to say this is probably around the time where Disney and Fox were in the midst of making their merger. Anyway, for Christmas, all of the Fox movies that were released on DVD, we're talking old, new movies, all had Deadpool on them. Every one of them. So, so I'm like walking through and I see Revenge of the Nerds and it's Deadpool on the cover for Revenge of the Nerds. There was another movie. I want to say it was similar to like Magnificent Seven or something like that, something of that caliber, and all of the characters were Deadpool on the cover.
Oh my god!
And they did this. They
That's
did this for like 20 or so different movies.
What have you got here, Sean?
Guerrilla marketing is
I'm going to see if I may have fixed your problem.
All right.
You know what? I'll give it 4 out of 5 avocados. Korg?
I was raised by avocados.
Oh
Can
my
you guys hear
God,
that?
just kill me
Yes.
now.
Well, we'll go back to the beginning of that thing if you want to,
Any,
or not the
tips
very
on,
beginning.
Getting into the MCU
How
there?
far back do
Just
you
let
want
it
to
play. Let it play.
Have a dream, chase it, lose that dream, just sabotage all sorts of happiness in pursuit of that dream, climb up to the peaks of that mountain, and when you get to the top, land at the bottom and realize you're never going to achieve that dream. And at that point, check your emails. Maybe you'll get something from your agent saying, Marvel wants to talk.
Yeah, I prefer Dark World. Any of you for this
There you go.
That's
All right.
brilliant.
That's awesome.
Leading up to the release of the Deadpool movie,
It's full of good stuff throughout the entire thing. If you go see it, go see the Deadpool and Korg React. That's the name of it.
it was released by Ryan Reynolds on Ryan Reynolds' YouTube channel. Everybody
Okay.
else is sharing it, but
All right.
Ryan Reynolds released that himself. And
All right. Yeah,
the-
it is on the Ryan. That's right.
The reason I point that out is leading up to the release of Deadpool, the original Deadpool film, they didn't have any money. Fox gave them a budget and then took half the budget away and kept nickel and diming the budget, that they really didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on promotion and whatnot for the Deadpool film. So in lieu of that, what you had was Ryan Reynolds pretty much doing this on his own dime. And he made several little trailers. One was for Australian Day, where he was advertising Deadpool. Obviously, advertising Deadpool itself, just being Deadpool and what have you. I mean, I want to say he did like 3 or 4 different trailers, and I don't believe, I could be completely wrong, I don't believe that Fox had anything to do with it, other than Ryan said, I need this much money, we're going to do this, I'm going to do this on the weekend, we're going to shoot it and do this, and Fox is like, fine, here, take it, just leave us alone, because they didn't really want anything to do with that movie. And
they really thought it was going to lose money.
His advertisement, his promotion, not Fox's promotion, but Ryan Reynolds' promotion of that movie sold like gangbusters. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved watching his trailers and his promotion for that movie. This is in line with all of those promotions. So it kind of makes me wonder, or hope, plead, that Disney's like, why screw with something that works?
Right.
Just
Right.
do it.
No kidding.
Clearly.
What do you need? Well, I want Korg completely animated. They're never going to give me Korg. All right, we'll set it up. Taika Waititi's already in the suit.
They have the
and he's
money.
like, oh crap! I'm
They got
going to
the
get
money.
Korg in my trailer. And
Hey.
this is
Those
just,
two together are gold.
And you know what? This is our first official Marvel 20th Century
and
Fox.
this is,
it is.
our
Crossover.
first MCU Fox crossover.
It
and
is.
it counts because Deadpool breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Now, my question
crazy.
is, in the Deadpool, because we know we're getting one, in the Deadpool movie, or even in the Thor movie, is Free Guy going to be on somebody's TV?
Oh wow.
are they
Is-
going to be playing the game?
Are
Like,
they going to be playing the game?
the short answer, incredibly short, is absolutely.
They need to have that game in the movie now.
I'm saying.
Well,
They've got to,
if they put Ryan Reynolds in command of marketing anything, it's going to succeed.
It's going to
Just based
succeed.
on
Oh, yeah.
the power that carried through on Deadpool. I mean, all through the ad agencies, all through the ad world, everybody was jealous as hell that whole marketing campaign came off as well as it did. It was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a handful of execs that were sitting there going, crap, we are so fired.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they got upstaged by a Hollywood actor, which steams them even more.
Oh, yeah.
That he did their job and better,
Right.
infinitely
And
better.
much, absolutely, so much better.
Didn't spoil any. What the thing that I love about it is that I absolutely detest when someone has a trailer out that shows you something from the third act of the movie.
Aquaman.
Oh, yes, that's the perfect.
Yeah.
Terminator
That's the
Genesis.
perfect. Yes,
Oh,
it's like, why are you spoiling the in your own damn trailer? You're spoiling the movie so that throughout the movie you're like, well, I know that this happens because it was in the damn trailer. I'm waiting for it to happen now. With the Ryan Reynolds stuff, you weren't seeing footage of the movie. You were just
not.
seeing him, cracking jokes and stuff.
so
So
you're too
he
busy
got you
laughing
into
your ass
the.
off at him.
And then when they did the actual trailers of the movie, they showed jokes that were not used in the movie.
Right.
Like they were showing other cuts that didn't make it to the movie. I mean, it was
And you
the
know-
whole thing was brilliant.
And Marvel kind of does that to us as well.
Marvel
And
will
I-
change things in the previews
I think they
to
do
completely
that
sworve you.
right because
They
You
will
know how
remove
upset-
characters.
you know how upset everybody was about
They
the
did that
Hulk
in Black
versus
Widow.
the Hulk Buster.
Well, I was going to say, I personally, I remember saying that there's no way that they're going to spend the kind of money to animate this for just a trailer.
Right. They did.
They did.
What a
They-
dumbass I
They
was.
animated Hulk for a
Right.
dumb trailer.
And
Well,
it's-
I mean, from the time that Free Guy was even announced, or the time that the first trailer announced, from now, I mean, they've had all of that time to develop that trailer. So they probably looked at it as, oh, we got that cash sitting around for all that marketing stuff that we were gonna do. So why don't we throw Korg in on it?
In this thing at the beginning of it, Ryan Reynolds makes some crack about, I thought this was a movie that came out a year ago.
right. Right.
Didn't this come out last year?
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're aware of the fact that this is much like Black Widow, is a movie that's been, they've talked about it and done trailers on it again and again and again. And at a certain point, you got to do something different. And they definitely did it. I mean, this was
genius.
definitely a case where they did something different. That
plus
it's infinitely better than anything else that they would have done.
Plus, it's cross marketing, and I like that.
I think you're going to see stuff from the MCU, Easter eggs all over the place in Free Guy. I really do.
Maybe.
Just cause. Why not?
Yeah.
Keeps
All right.
it
So
fresh.
there's 3 things that are coming up, and we don't have to spend a long time on any of this stuff. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the Wheel of Time. They say Amazon's still promising you'll see its take on Robert Jordan's beloved fantasy epic, The Wheel of Time, sometime this year. But now it's no longer only the live-action take in the works. The Hollywood Reporter has word that Zack Stentz, who co-wrote both the first Thor movie as well as Fox's semi-franchise reboot, X-Men First Class, has been tapped by Radar Pictures and Iwot Productions to pen Age of Legend, the first of 3 planned movies based on the 14-book series. So there's our first one. Who knows about the Wheel of Time? Is anyone excited about this?
Don't know anything about it.
Same.
All right.
I know the
that-
title, but I don't know the story.
I know that Sean knows a little bit about it.
That's because Sean's a reader.
14 novels, done. Yeah, and the prequel, done.
I mean, it's an epic fantasy, 14 novels. They got a lot of material.
You want to talk epic? Holy,
I mean, Lord of the Rings was 3 novels.
yeah. Yeah, put that into perspective.
A paltry
Lord of the
3
Rings
novels.
was 3
Now-
novels.
Okay, now I did read the novelization of Robotech, and that's a number of books. So
That is a lot of books.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That is a lot of books. We both read. In fact, I think I borrowed your books, Walt.
you
That was
did.
back, that was
Let me-
back in the
let
art
me
school
acknowledge-
days. Yeah.
Sean, before you go on, let me get this out here since it's kind of our last subject here. Gary says, hello to Gary, by the way. I almost called you today. I thought you were maybe on vacation or something, Gary. Anyway, he says, I'm so late to this party, but I saw Black Widow today also. I liked it and really wish it had been released after Civil War.
Agreed.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said. I wish that it had been released in, in continuity because
We still love
it
you,
would have been more powerful.
You're still our bro, Steve.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're
Steve-
going tomorrow. It's fine.
Oh,
By
yeah.
the way,
it's all right.
By the way, Gary, he hadn't seen it yet. So
Gary hadn't seen it. I really almost contacted you today, Gary, but I thought that you were maybe on vacation or something.
Getting to the Wheel of Time, it was suggested to me by our friend and sometimes commentator Ronnie Cross, who is huge into.
He's not here tonight, surprisingly.
He's probably bored with us already. Who is huge into fantasy novels, Lord of the Rings, which has spurred him into other fantasy novels, and he recommended the Wheel of Time to me. Said that I would really like it, and at the time I did I did audiobooks. I bought a bunch of audio books on Audible and listen to those while at work. And let me just say, The Wheel of Time, a normal novel that I've listened to or have read or whatever, you're looking at maybe 8 to 10 hours, just a regular run-of-the-mill novel. One novel in the Wheel of Time series was 55 hours. There's
Jeez.
14 novels. I believe 3 of the novels were in excess of 50 hours.
Good God.
What?
3 of them. Now,
So they
with
got a
that
little
being
material.
with that being said, all of them are very rich in detail, very expansive in their characterizations, and they say epic. I don't even know if that word corroborates with what they are. They are just massive. These are worlds that you want to live in. Honestly, if you're into the fantasy genre at all, I have to say, check out the Wheel of Time series. They're absolutely fantastic. With that being said, I'm really excited about the show. I think I've talked before that I'm not 100% on some of the casting. I'd say about half of the casting I think is brilliant. Half of the casting I still need to see some footage or a trailer or something to get an idea of how they are going to portray the character. Talking to you, Perrin, you hear me? Anyway, the main characters all seem like people that you would want to know, people that you can associate with. It's a really brilliant story. The whole thing. If you like Game of Thrones, I think you'll love the Wheel of Time. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, you're definitely going to be a fan of the Wheel of Time.
That's what they're hoping.
Yeah, and I will also add, if they are true to the series, for some of you more adult viewers, if it's true to the series, there's going to be a lot of naked people in this. A lot.
I mean, Game of Thrones
people.
More than Game of Thrones, yeah.
Game of Thrones proved that there's an audience for that.
There's one whole group of people that wear nothing but like a strap to hold their weapon. That's it.
It's like Naked and Afraid and Dragons.
Pretty much.
I think there's a novel in that title in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I've got great
I'm gonna write that down.
great expectations for this. I'm really hoping it's going to turn out great. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with it, and to finally get to see a live action interpretation of those novels.
Well, you sold me. I'm going to go on Audible and get the first novel tomorrow.
Get the prequel. Get the first novel. The prequel, I think, is only about 8 hours, and then the first novel, I want to say, is about 25 hours.
Wow.
Jeez.
Road
Give or
trip.
take. So but once you finish with that first book, you're going to buy the second one, and then you're going to buy the third one.
I've heard from both Ronnie and Shawn that they're really good. So
All right.
There's a lull. I will say there's a lull, and Ronnie did warn me. There's a lull where there's not a whole lot of action.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I'm
he just
coming back.
He just turned off his audio.
Oh,
Dirk did. Yeah.
I thought I died. I was like, oh crap. Anyway, there's a lull in the series. I want to say it's from about three to maybe 7, somewhere in there, where it's
I'm going to use the flamethrower on those mother things.
There's a lull in there where it's a lot of information. There's a lot of character development and whatnot. Not a whole lot of action, a lot of political, a lot of just kind of help building up the world and what have you. But once that wheel starts going again, oh my God, there's no stopping it. It's absolutely fantastic. Once you get past the first one, you'll buy the second one, and then you'll buy the third one, and so on and so forth.
Looking forward to it.
All right, let's go on to our next deal here, which is Faust. I'm wondering how many of you know. Is everyone familiar with Faust here?
Oh, yeah.
Faust is heading to Sony Pictures Television for an all-new animated adaptation.
I don't even know.
Sony Pictures Television announced that it has acquired the rights to the hit independent comic series Faust, Love of the Damned, for an animated series created by writer David Quinn and artist Tim Vigil. The series debuted in 1987 to a print run of over 100,000 copies. Later issues sold around 50,000 copies across various reprints. Who knows about Faust, and what do you think about an animated series of this coming from Sony?
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Now let me just get it right in my head. Sony did their animated studio did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, correct?
They did.
That's correct.
And then they're going to do Faust.
Yeah.
I mean, Faust is Faust.
Yeah.
That is a massive Fast and the Furious gear shift. Right there. That's
And this is going to be
first to 100.
This
That's
is going to be
from 0
on
to 100.
This is television.
Yeah. I just don't know how they're going to pull it off.
For those who don't know, Faust is, and I'm not an expert on Faust. I've read most of the issues, although the stuff that's come out in the last, 10, 15 years, I have not seen. But the stuff that came out early, I picked those up and read those and enjoyed them. But it's exceptionally gory.
Yes.
It's exceptionally filled with
Erotic.
nudity and sexual relations. And
Graphic.
it's about
Sexual
demons and stuff.
Extremely
I mean,
graphic.
it's like
Extremely graphic.
this is. I mean, as far as like, comic content, besides maybe some early stuff in heavy metal, or no, probably not even that. It's probably the most graphic, comic story that I can think of. There may be something out there that I'm just not aware of, but maybe some erotic stuff. I mean, no. I mean, nothing. I think that it's the apex of adult content where like kind of anything goes. I mean, like horror movies that are rated R are not graphic enough.
By the way,
for Faust.
There was a live action film of this comic series produced, and even it was nowhere near what was in the comic.
Can't be.
Nowhere near.
Can't be.
Look, I have issue 1 through 12, I believe. I think the
They
series
just need to
ended
put
on
that out as a graphic novel. I don't know what the heck they're waiting on for that.
I believe the series ended on like 15 or 16, I believe.
I've heard it's done.
I got 1 through 12, and
Tim Vigil didn't crank these out.
no,
He took his sweet time.
Through 12, 1 through 12 was over the course of I think about 10 years, and that in and of itself was, if you collect comics at all, you know exactly when new comics come out, and you kind of get into the cycle. You never could with Faust because it came out when it came out. There wasn't a schedule. You can't look for it a month down the road, 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road. You show up and you're like, is one in? And they're like, no.
Nope.
And you just move on with your life. But when it did come out,
it was an event.
All the quality of fantastic writing and beautiful artwork.
He never phoned it in.
There.
He never phoned it in.
I've got like the first 3 issues.
The detail of evisceration is really incredible.
I will never ever forget seeing it in the comic book shop the first time I ever did. It was one of those that I walked by and I see this dude holding a severed head, and I'm like, oh, I got to look into that. You know?
Right.
So-
Right.
And it was over from there. And like you say, it was just a total crapshoot. Is when you walk in the door, is it? And they're like,
Is it in?
No.
No.
And you just turn right back around and walk out again.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I think it took me 5 years to get issues 1 through 3.
Yeah.
The only saving grace, literally the only saving grace that I had was I met Robert, part of the Ranking Studios, who
Robert Henry.
Robert Henry, who was or is still is, I would dare say, mentored by Tim Vigil.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he could legitimately claim that.
I'm pretty certain that they have each other's home phone numbers. You know, it would not shock me to find out that they talk to each other at least once a week.
Gary says you need your special Faust correspondent, Rob.
Right?
Right.
Seriously, there's no bigger Faust fan than Rob,
I met
or
Tim
someone who's
Vigil.
hooked up with Tim Vigil like Rob. Seriously.
I met Tim Vigil at a local con. He had a table, he had his spread, and I remember seeing it was a 2-page spread of Faust in a cemetery. And
I know what you're talking.
I literally, it's from issue number 8. I can tell you exactly where this is. The absolutely gorgeous. I stood there and just drooled over this page, just thinking, how? You know, I mean, I'm a young upstart trying to get into the comic industry myself, and I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm just thinking that this is impossible. You know, to do something like this. I almost walked away from the industry right there. And,
Yeah, man, you kill yourself if you start comparing. I mean, Tim Vigil's a really good example of that.
Oh,
Like,
man, just
The
absolutely beautiful.
detail that he puts into his, and I mean, really amazing anatomy, really amazing anatomy, and dynamic, beautiful ink work. If you look, it's not for kids, folks.
It's not for kids.
But if you want to see some masterful work that is for adults, it's really amazing stuff.
Every panel is just beautiful.
Every panel.
Yeah, every panel.
After meeting him, after meeting Robert, after talking to them, I was lucky enough to find a shop where I was able to buy the bulk of those Faust issues, minus
It
a
was
few
hard
here and
to
there.
even order them because I mean, some shops wouldn't order. They wouldn't have them in their
No.
thing. I mean, they were like, "No, I'm not messing with those."
This goes beyond a triple X movie. I mean, there's
Yeah,
yeah.
Imagine a triple X movie that was also really gory,
Oh,
like exceptionally gory.
I mean, I am trying so hard to not.
I mean, it's
be
hard to-
offensive in my description.
It's
of
hard
it.
to compare to really any genre.
And that's
Maybe
really-
novels or movies. I mean, maybe a Serbian Tale or something. You know.
No, I
Yeah.
think Faust is worse.
Okay,
think
I mean-
Faust is even
Oh
beyond.
yeah, but
Okay.
still,
I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway, to get back to it, I honestly don't know how Sony. I don't know how.
Sony does not have their own streaming network, so that probably I'm going to just guess and say that's since they
It's
just
gotta
made
be going to
a
Netflix.
deal with Netflix,
They-
it's probably going to Netflix.
One of those streaming services they used to own. I want to say they used to own Crunchyroll or something like that.
They did. They either Crunchyroll or Funimation.
Well, no, Funimation. Well,
Funimation.
they own Funimation now.
yeah.
Okay.
They own Funimation now, and that's the reason why, because they own Crunchyroll too. They rolled those two together. I think I can't remember, but I do know that
They were split at one point.
Yeah,
I
do know that
Funimation specialized in stuff that had been dubbed, and Crunchyroll specialized in stuff that was subtitled.
right. Although
but now it's all one thing. It's all one thing now. One distributor.
Although Crunchyroll was the one place I could catch Jackie Chan Adventures, the animated series, replays of that. So
I dug Jackie Chan's Adventures.
yeah, it was a good
Those are
show.
entertaining.
I
Guys, the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is coming up, I've saved for the last because I know all of you knuckleheads are going to go crazy about this subject.
Gary's right. They are going to completely neuter.
They have to.
They have to.
I have no idea. I mean, even on Netflix, which is pretty permissive. It's not going to be
not that permissive though.
They're going to show nudity. I have no doubt they'll show nudity. No doubt they'll show gore. I mean, the Love, Death, and Robots showed you what you can get away with.
Although they pulled back on that in the second. Look, the second season was great, but they definitely pulled back on that in the second season.
Gary also said it would have to be X. That's one.
Yeah,
of those
he says it'd have to be X. It would.
It would be literally.
I mean, Netflix stuff doesn't come with, like ratings like that.
Or
so
it would be NR.
Mature doesn't really cover it.
Right?
It would
Mature
be NR.
doesn't.
There would have to be like a Faust channel on Pornhub.
There's no
other place.
Yeah.
Do they have a contract with Pornhub? Just curious. Because they would have to.
It would
legitimately pull this off. They would have to.
It would get an NR rating on Netflix.
Now,
and can you imagine going? I mean, you know how executives are about this stuff. Can you imagine bringing the source material into a board meeting and going, "We would like to make an animated series of this."
Oh my gosh!
All they'd have to do is hold up, like I said, issue 1, and they'd be like this.
Now,
and the guys would be like, "Okay."
I mean, they greenlit it.
I'm willing to bet that what's it? His name's leaving me. Is it David Quinn? Is that correct?
They said his name. David Quinn. That's correct.
Quinn. Yep.
The writer.
The writer. I'm sure he would have had to have called Vigil and said, "Stay home. I'll handle it."
Oh yeah. You don't want that guy in the meeting.
I've met Vigil. He wonderful person.
Great
Absolutely
guy.
Wonderful person.
But definitely not the guy you want in your Hollywood meeting.
But he is he's no tact for something like this. Of all of the reviews that I've ever received,
probably more militant than Alan Moore on, this is meant to be this way.
Oh yeah,
and it better be this way.
If you adapt this, it better look like this.
I was about to say though, in order for it to succeed, it's going to have to it's going to have to borrow pretty dramatic percentages from the comic. I mean,
yeah,
they're not going to be able to die this down and just say,
why do it otherwise?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Listen, Invincible has so far been able to maintain the gore.
That's true.
And still able to tell the story as it needs to be.
They could have tapped the brakes on that, and they really didn't.
So,
but there's no nudity.
Well, that's where Game of Thrones comes in. I mean, even they got away with a lot.
See, Amazon doesn't care about that necessarily. And I say that for the simple fact that they're doing this Lord of the Rings TV series, and they've specifically
they're signing those contracts that say that I'll be nude.
You're going to be buck naked throughout a majority of this show. Just sign it here or
everyone
go
is
away.
Everyone's signing those.
Have you been in adult films? Fantastic, sign here.
Right. You have the qualities that we're looking for.
How many tattoos do you have? Don't worry, we can put makeup over them. That's not a big deal.
You're going to be green anyway.
No, you will not use a merkin. You're going to go out there and you're going to be completely naked.
Well, we'll cover that with CGI.
So,
or will we?
This really has my brain.
It's pretty crazy.
When I saw the story, literally my brain locked up.
Mine did too.
Because I'm like, how?
It's pretty crazy.
I think we all had that question mark for our heads. It just kind of went
animated series.
How are you going to do this?
Nothing against Faust the story, because again, I've collected them. I enjoy the storytelling and I enjoy the illustrations, subject matter is a little kind of for me, but rock and roll. I can look past that
It's
at the beautiful artwork that's provided.
not for beginners.
But I'm just sitting going, okay, now Sony is going to make this.
Right.
Faust
Gary
is
says
is very veiny. Yes.
Gary says
Yeah.
it's very veiny.
Yeah. And that's
Very.
a proper
It's-
word, man. That
It's
really
quite
is.
turgid.
Turgid?
Whoa, okay, hang on. Shit. What?
Now, why can you pull out a word like that and
Okay,
then turn around and say flip bong or whatever crap comes out of your face?
I like making up words too.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's
no.
not made up.
No, turgid is actually correct.
Go ahead and say it.
That's proper.
What does it say?
Well, okay. There's a couple of them.
I mean, if it's a dictionary definition, go ahead
It
and
is.
say it.
It's swollen and distended or congested, which is proper, and or tediously pompous or bombastic, which is also proper. So
Right. I was thinking more one, but two works also.
yes. Well played,
See,
sir. Well
And
played.
that puts into my head one particular panel.
Dirk's word of the day.
I hate to use the word splash page
Don't.
because of the content, but
Not a good word of the day for children.
There isn't it.
Depending on the context.
Truth.
I just don't. First off, I can't believe that Sony.
Oh yeah,
bothered
it's still
with this.
it's still a shock that Sony decided,
It's pretty
hey,
bonkers.
let's do this.
And I'm really now. Is this going to be 3D animated or is this going to be 2D?
Oh my-
If they
Like-
make it look anything like Into the Spider-Verse, oh God.
that
Right?
would be-
It's gonna,
Right?
Oh God.
I mean, I can see them going.
How can you make it worse? Let's use Into the Spider-Verse
As a
I'm
model.
not- as a
Right.
model. And I'm not saying worse as in bad. I'm saying worse as in more dynamic and even
Right.
more shocking.
Oh, well, it's going to be infinitely more dark. It's going to be it's
You
going to
know,
be Pornhub channel. It's
one of
gonna,
the things that I
and
have
Fear
complained about lately, and I've said this to Sean many times, is I don't know why nudity has been removed from movies, and it's not just a prurient interest here. Nudity or sex is part of the human experience, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that everything has to be dumbed down to like 13-year-old level or something? I don't understand that. So I hope that there's some nudity in this.
Sean's loading up.
There's one, and this is kind of what set it all off in my head.
Right.
I believe it was
Right, Gary.
Oh.
Next 7.
Oh.
It was
Oh, thank you.
it was issue 2 or 3 where the main character, who, for those that don't know, has gauntlets, much with 2 blades that
Wolverine
That's-
has.
Wolverine. Yeah.
very very Wolverine is. So there's an attacker who goes after a woman, and our hero, who is completely nude, takes
Except
the
with his
guy,
gauntlet.
Of course.
except for his gauntlets, takes this guy, and I want to say it was on a fence. It might have been. He's suspended somehow. I don't remember how, and then he eviscerates him. Now, after this happens, the following page was a splash page. Pardon the pun, where our hero is bathing in the blood and gore of his victim. And he is excited by the experience.
Turgid.
He is turgid.
I'm done.
And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how in the hell are they going to portray that?
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Well,
then
let's
and that's
not
where
leave
my-
out the part where in that splash page he's also hallucinating demonic entities
yeah.
all around. Yeah.
But but I'm thinking in my head, now how are they going to animate that? Are they going to animate it via
It's some sick
Spider
stuff.
Verse, or are they going to animate it via Invincible, how is that going to come across?
Or like
Is there such a thing as a
classic
pleasant
Disney.
medium there?
And
Are they-
I'm
Are they gonna animate it the style of Misadventure, the Adventures of Gumball?
Right.
Right. Which, by the way, I love that show.
I love that.
That is a great show. Seriously.
I think you like that. I'm tweeting.
Shawn and I have watched hours of that sometimes.
I have too.
We
Dude, I
have
love
broken
that.
off the knob on Gumball sometimes. It's
On this tangent, that's one of the few Cartoon Network shows for kids, other than Craig of the Creek,
Craig
that
of
I
the
like
Creek.
to
I
watch.
love
that I
Craig
love,
of the
that
Creek.
I like to watch. Everything else, trash.
Craig of
Get
the
rid of it.
Creek takes me
Trash.
back to when I was a kid, man.
Yeah.
That show is absolutely
Craig of the Creek.
Let me get this
fantastic.
comment out from Michelle. She says, I agree with you. Nudity and sex needs to be normalized. It's who we are. What
right.
happened there?
Absolutely.
I don't know. In my head, I kind of have this whole, as
What-
far as the
what
animation
have we
style, I
done?
have Into the Spider-Verse, and I have even the Boondocks, for that matter. That style was amazing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I just
Oh.
wish they didn't shortchange the cell count on those. It got real jerky for me, and that killed it. That anytime I tried to watch it, it killed
Yeah,
it. For me.
That's inevitability on TV animation anymore.
Yeah, that's
I know,
time. That's
but
time
that's-
and money. That's time.
Yeah,
and money.
especially Adult Swim.
that hurts my head. That
Yeah.
hurts my head.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of my biggest.
They do
complaints
everything
about-
on the cheap there.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my biggest complaints.
Except for
Which
Rick and Morty.
Walt and I have talked about is with the original Transformers and GI Joe.
The first season
The-
was awesome.
Yeah, that first season was fantastic, and then it's like, okay, now we got to cut money. Well,
It
take that
starts-
about
it
10
starts slipping.
frames per second.
Well, and you're
Yeah.
also still talking about hand-painted cells then, too. I mean, they're
Sure.
using
Right.
250,
And a
350,000
daily show.
cells per minute.
30
Yeah.
minutes
Oh.
a day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I discovered for Transformers and GI Joe, because they were trying to get us 65 episodes for a season, 13 weeks, 5 days a
Right.
week. They were using like three to four different animation studios.
That's insane.
to crank that stuff out.
And most of them in Mexico, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Using house paint for the cells, by the way.
And you could tell.
Yeah.
You could.
I'd
You
never
could-
heard that.
You
Yeah.
could tell you could tell the worst episodes too. The ones where it's like, oh well, we just got these guys for like $2 an hour.
Let,
You know.
Let's get to the last thing before we run out of too much time here.
Let's do.
Uh-oh. Somebody's excited.
Silverhawks.
Yes! Yes!
The 1986 animated TV series Silverhawks, a companion series to the Rankin Bass hits Thundercats, maybe you heard of it, and the later series Tiger Sharks, may be getting a revival. An exclusive report today in Deadline, not a chumpy source, says that the Nacelle Company, which produces Netflix nostalgia series The Movies That Made Us and The Toys That Made Us, has partnered with San Francisco toy and culture house Super 7 to reboot the show, which ran for 65 episodes in the mid-1980s. Okay, Silverhawks, go.
That was such a series, or excuse me, a property that had so much potential.
Oh,
So
so
much.
much potential.
So much
So
potential.
much unrealized potential.
Unrealized.
Even at the
Which-
time, even back when
Even
they
at the time.
originally
Oh, yeah.
did it.
Because I mean, like the build up and advertisement for that show was great, and then you watch the show and you're like, okay, they look cool, and the animation was good, and that's basically what kept my attention, is that they look cool and the animation was good. Didn't so much care for the story, but
Or a couple of characters.
or a couple of characters, yeah. But as far as that, so much unrealized potential that was in that property. Just like Thundercats. I mean,
Well,
Thundercats was a better show, but still there was still so much unreached potential at the time.
it was a better show to a point. Thundercats was. I mean,
Yes,
Thundercats had
exactly.
It had
Snark.
exactly the same writers. It had the same artists. Everything for Silverhawks, but man, it was bad.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
Yeah.
loved it.
yeah. I mean, there were some really cool characters. Like our main characters were really cool, except for the cowboy hat.
Bluegrass. Thank you. No.
Ditch the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
What do we have here, Sean? Do you want me to put this up? Is it time?
As you
You're
should,
awesome.
sir. As you should. That's what I mean by missed opportunities is that I realized there were toys and there were figures and all that stuff, but man, they were so bad. If they had
they were
followed,
poor.
well, you could have said the same for Thundercats and
Sure.
Tiger Sharks for that matter, but man, it was so worth my Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Just to
and that's
watch that show.
and that's another thing with the Tiger Sharks. The Tiger Sharks look so cool.
They were cool with that show.
They look cool, but the show sucked.
I remember Silverhawk because they kept. I was all about Thundercats. I was all about Thundercats, and during Thundercats, they were advertising this new show.
Makes sense.
Hi, Mama.
Whenever they finally released the show, it was like a 1 week miniseries,
I'll put your comment up in a second, Gary.
and then they started the actual series like a month later or something like that. Anyway, that first miniseries, I remember the first episode. I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. I see what they're doing. Let's do this. Second episode, man, that was wicked. I can't wait to see where they go. Third episode, I'm like, okay.
Where are they going with this?
You're like, wait a minute.
That's not quite what I expected, but
What?
okay. Fourth episode, what?
Yeah. Excuse me?
And then the fifth episode, okay.
Yeah. That's where the education
Right.
and Children's
Yes.
Television Act kicked in.
Yes.
And I remember,
Unfortunately,
Everything it all turned into a PSA.
there
Yeah.
was this kind of rich kind of backstory to it. Why did they have? Okay. If you're going to replace my entire body with metal, I'm not keeping my one arm.
Right.
Take it. Take the damn thing.
Not
Take
only metal, Sean, but chrome.
Yeah.
Which also meant that you had to spend,
I'm all about the chrome.
you were out for. I was too. I ain't gonna lie, it was badass. But you're spending 1 hour of kick-ass time versus 4 hours of go back to the shop and polish myself because I still gotta look badass.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you'd have to have just a giant buffer. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
you just stand in it and I mean, there's nothing else you can do. I've got some carbon scoring. Can we buff this? Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
But having all that experience with Thundercats, the build up towards Silverhawks was so high. And
It was
like
very
you say,
high.
You just fell off that cliff 4 or 5 episodes
It
in,
did.
and you're like, "Please tell me, God, this is going to get better." It never
Yeah.
got better, but it was
No.
it still held on to the basic elements of the kick-ass characters and the kick-ass machinery. It grabbed me. It really did.
And the catchy theme song.
And the catchy
that
theme
thing.
song.
I
Let
had
me-
such high hopes for that show.
Let me go to Gary's comment here on the theme song. He says, "Can you imagine getting that theme song gig? You think that they went home and were like, this is going to put us over the top.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
the one, man.
It's going to put us
Hey,
on the
the
map."
one.
Hey,
Dude, we're going to be bigger than Crew with this one, man.
hey, Gary, you should go to YouTube and look up the Gummy Bears theme song. There are so many covers of
Really?
Disney's
Really?
Gummy Bears. Yes, in fact, there's one video where this guy collects he collects the best covers of Gummy Bears, and he sits and discusses the covers with the original writers of the
That's
song.
his whole
Nice.
channel.
That's his shtick.
His whole channel is about. Well, it's not his whole channel, but he has one. One episode where that's what he does.
It's a way
That's
to
actually
niche
definitely-
down.
I don't know. I'm about to type out a very important email to a YouTube band called Slade Dougie. I don't know if all of you have heard of them, but they made a heavy metal version of the Baby Shark song,
Oh my lord!
as well as
They-
Paw Patrol, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to send
They
them an
need
email
to
and
do
say,
Silverhawks.
You need to do Silverhawks right effing
Yeah.
Now's
now.
the time.
Yes.
Now's the time. Now's
The
the time
only-
to do it. Jump ahead of that.
The only other song for a daytime show that impressed me more was Galaxy Rangers, but
Oh, I like Galaxy Ranger.
Yeah, that was a decent heady 80s rock hit.
Yes.
Michelle loves the Gummy Bears theme song.
I mean, at some point in time in the future, obviously, I hope you have me back at some point. But I would hope that we could do an entire segment on TV theme songs alone.
Oh, we could.
We could.
I was going to say we could fill an
could.
entire 2-hour show just on that alone.
Write that down.
Yeah. Someone covered that.
Write that down.
Do
We'll
you
do
think
that.
I mean, it's good material. I think that, they could definitely do something pretty cool with this.
Again, this you're kind of treading on how are they going to animate it.
This is probably one of the first times you will ever hear me say, when remaking a property, forget what brought it up.
Yeah, right.
This is what you're working with. Forget all that shit.
Yeah.
Just start fresh.
Right.
And come up with something cool.
Right.
Like they did with the that Thundercats remake.
The 2011 version.
The 2011 version.
2011, yes.
The 2011 version.
That was awesome.
That was an awesome show, and the only reason why they took it off was because they weren't selling toys. That's a stupid reason.
Yep. That was the
sort of
philosophy.
If they animated it like they did that show, I would readily accept that. I think that was awesome.
Yeah.
I actually have been watching that Thundercats series here over the past week. I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Just skip Roar. Just skip Roar.
Quite good.
Skip
Roar
it.
Roar doesn't exist.
Roar doesn't exist.
It's a prequel.
Yeah, that was basically insulting to everyone.
That was an alternate universe that should never have been.
Michelle says a theme song show would be very interactive, so there you go.
I will say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to warn you. If you do that show and I'm not on, then I'm going to blow the hell up out of the comments section.
I'm not sure we could play all the... We could play pieces of those.
You've
Probably
already
not
committed
play all
yourself. At this point...
But I think you're in on that.
I'm willing to bet.
I think you're in on that episode.
I'm willing to bet Scott's going to be like, I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about. I'm going to go play a board game.
I will gladly be in on that. And I've already
He's going to go play 10 board games.
I've already got my number 1. So,
which, by the way, we're still looking forward to this weekend, Scott.
That's right. We're going to be there.
Yeah,
if you're watching.
We're going to play 1 game, maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
I got a full list of songs in my head as well.
Yes, sir.
It'll be the Show Tunes episode.
Gary wants that Galaxy Rangers remake.
I'm with you there, Gary.
Dude, I'm telling you. And
I'm with you there too.
Especially if they go back to the original the original series. Not the American series, but the original series. Yes.
Well, see, that's a whole nother show too, though. Is that, I mean, how many of those 70s and 80s shows would you, or even 90s for that matter, is how many of them would you like to see remade? I can think of 12 of them off the top of my head that I would love to see redone because the premise was badass, but the show wasn't.
Yeah, I would like to see since we're getting to that, the original Gatchaman series.
Yes.
The first season, phenomenal.
Yes.
The second and third season, no.
You gotta get
Michael wants to, I'm about to put, hang on, I'm about to put you up on the deal. There you go.
What's at the bottom?
His belly.
Yeah. Great shirt.
There you go. He brought the awesome. Also, why he's Sean Stewie Wilson. There you go.
Yeah, that's why I had to throw Quicksilver in on mine because he was by far my favorite character on Silverhawks.
Yeah.
Not only the leader, but infinitely badass.
Mine was the character that we rarely got to see. Sean knows who I'm talking about.
From Silverhawks?
From Silverhawks. The African American character.
Ooh.
Because we talked about who did his voice. The guy who did his voice. That was Silverhawks was probably the last thing he did. No, not Seymour. Not their commanding officer. Oh crap.
No, he wasn't their commanding officer. Seymour was the
one that didn't talk.
Nah, well, when he did, he talked in a New York accent. Oh. All right, Google.
Okay.
Rescue me.
If anyone knows out there, tell us.
Hot Wing?
Is that what his name was? Yes,
Dude, was his
that's
name
it.
Hot Wing?
Yeah, Hot Wing. Adolf Caesar.
Giro.
Wow.
Adolf Caesar. I think that was one of the last. That was
You
one of
made
the
Michael
last
happy.
characters he played before he died.
You made Michael happy there, Sean.
And what's his weapon bird's name? I know Quicksilver's was Tallyhawk. I know Gyro. Gyro.
Gyro.
Dude.
Gyro.
How
Gyro.
do you
Dude.
pronounce that?
I mean, props to you for remembering that.
Well, that's one of the few things
Gary
I
will
do
also
remember.
be there on game night.
Excellent. Look forward to it, Gary.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah.
Is this for
very
Blood
cool.
Bowl?
Nemesis, which is the alien game where
Okay.
you're trapped on a ship and the aliens are going to
Ooh.
come after you. And then there's another thing called Camp Grizzly that we may be playing, which is like a horror movie, board game or whatever. So anyway, it should be fun. It'd be good to see Gary.
But as far as the Silverhawks remake, I think that there's a lot of characters that they could potentially leave out, i.e. Bluegrass. Well, I think that's the guy.
Yeah.
The Cowboy was just
I think
wrong.
everyone probably agrees you can get rid of him, but
And I was right. Silverhawks was Adolf Caesar's last acting gig. He died in
Hot Wing.
'86.
There you
Yeah.
Wow.
there you go.
There's Hot Wing.
So
Hot
cool.
Wing.
He looks so cool, though.
Yeah.
Looks
I mean,
pretty
he's one of
cool,
the
man.
few
He
that
looks
wasn't
kind of
tall.
Vulcanish.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. He was born
Gary
in
says he's looking forward to it. We are too, man.
He was born in 1933 and died in 1986, and that was right after the release of the
Wow.
series.
Wow.
Right after. That's
Wow.
the same year they released it, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Same year that they released the series.
Ugh. That's creepy.
All right, guys, I'm going to get us on to On Blast, unless you have any other Silverhawk memories or any thoughts about Silverhawk.
I just know that song stuck in my head now.
Yes.
It certainly is.
Do you want me to look up Galaxy Rangers?
Not
All right, not for
yet.
that. I've got it on DVD, so hey.
Save it for
Put
the
that-
show,
there you go.
man.
Put that
Save
in
it
our
for
theme
the show.
song episode.
Yes. Ooh, I can't wait for that one. That's going to be good.
All right, we're going to On Blast.
I'm going to have to literally put together an entire playlist of show tunes.
Scott's not here tonight
That's-
because usually what I have to do is explain what On Blast is. We've only done this for about a year and a half.
I've watched plenty of episodes to know.
It's just something that you want to talk about that you've either watched or read, or like video games you played, board games. It doesn't matter what it is. Something you want to put on blast. And for that first, I'm going to go to Sean.
Wow. I'm never first.
You're first tonight.
I'm a little shocked.
How about that?
As everybody knows, I would hope that everybody knows, I try to help the independent community by supporting a lot of
Kickstarters.
thank you, Kickstarters, Indiegogos, just the.
GoFundMe.
I don't think I've done a whole lot of GoFundMes.
I don't think anybody has.
I've looked at a lot of GoFundMes.
I've looked at a handful of GoFundMes, but anyway, and over the last couple of weeks, because obviously we weren't here last week, a lot of things came in. And I was able to read through them and check some things out. One of the first ones that I wanted to show was Saw, spelled XOB.
Saw?
How do you
All
get
right.
Saw out of that?
Is that Cyrillic? What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because in this first issue, they say it's pronounced.
All right.
If I understand correctly, these are it's 3 issues that I got all signed. I believe the origin is Korean, I believe.
Okay.
And these are based on mythological characters. As you see in this lower panel here, it's pronounced Saw.
All right. I like
Okay.
the art.
Yeah.
It's clean.
The art is clean. The same illustrator on the first two issues. The third issue, different penciler and inker. But all around, all three, very nice, very nicely done.
Cool.
Great production. They did a good job. Some complaints on some of the illustration. You can tell that they're not quite there yet to, what would be considered an industry standard, but they're getting there, man. God bless, they're getting there. I could only wish that I was able to produce anything like this back when I was first starting out. Great quality of book, great quality all around. Another thing that I got recently from Indiegogo is $4.99, which I'm still not 100% sure what I think about this book. The illustrator and writer duo on this, the illustrator, a person by the name of Narwhal, and Zack, I don't remember, created this handy dandy little book, kind of an alternate universe where people go to high school and are trained kind of for the Hunger Games, so to speak.
All
A lot
right.
of death, a lot of brutality. But the art style, I know a lot of people are not going to be real into. But I will say, for me, it was
It's
interesting.
kind of difficult to tell what's going on there.
You should look at the book.
Okay.
Well,
it's interesting.
The art style.
I'd have to see it.
A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people probably would not like the art style per se, but individuals like me who like something that's just different and not your standard.
Yeah.
$4.99, which I believe you can still get on Indiegogo.
Okay.
And with that, I also got POD, or payment on delivery, also
Shiny.
by Narwhal and Zach. See the illustrations there again.
Yeah.
Same type of illustration, just all in black and white instead of color. A unique story, very unique story. I think I was more impressed with this story than I was with the other one. But both of them very interesting, very cool. If you're into those kind of things there, I definitely suggest checking them out. I also got some art books, because I love art books, from a gentleman by the name of Mike Hawthorne, All City.
Oh yeah, I was
cool.
wondering about that one.
This is All City 1, signed by Mr. Hawthorne there.
Cool.
Nice.
If you've never seen Mike Hawthorne's artwork, find it.
I like it.
This guy is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I like it.
And his art books here are a wonderful mixture of sketch,
Right.
and completed pieces.
Yeah, it looks like painted stuff.
Just absolutely gorgeous.
I like
Gorgeous
that.
stuff.
Wow.
Colors are great.
Yeah.
I like how dynamic it is. That's good stuff.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And with the purchase of, this is volume 0, you can see it's kind of a smaller kind of collection. And then this is volume 1, which you can see is quite
Holy
a bit
cats.
thicker.
That's a lot of volume.
And again, same quality, beautiful hardcover, nice, smooth.
Nice.
The production on this book is absolutely gorgeous. I love the smell of a new book. Just absolutely beautiful work.
Ooh.
So again, I dropped something. If you have the opportunity to look up this guy, here's some black and white stuff. It's absolute God, this guy just makes me cry.
What's his name?
Mike Hawthorne.
Mike Hawthorne. All right.
I highly recommend checking out his stuff.
I'm taking notes.
Please give him a look. I definitely.
Is he on Instagram and stuff?
He is on Instagram. In fact, that's how I found him.
Okay.
Was on Instagram.
Cool.
And just beautiful stuff.
I will follow him this evening.
Definitely give him a look and check out his stuff and say hi.
Cool.
And that's I think that's all the new stuff that I have.
Hey, that's a bounty.
Pretty good haul.
It's pretty good.
It is.
I'm gonna put Gary's stuff out here. He says his comments on blast. One of the best comic series of the last 10 years comes to an end this month. 7 to Eternity, number 17 is a saga that if you guys haven't read, you really should. So there you go. 7 to Eternity. I haven't. I'm taking notes on that too. The other day in the Facebook group, Gary mentioned that there's going to be a Human Target series that I am very interested in too. Gary's got a good sense about this stuff. Everything that he suggested, like, hey, you should check this out, has been right on target. So yeah, I got to check that out.
No pun intended.
Pardon the pun. Yeah.
And, yes. And Human Target is a character that I've enjoyed.
It was once a Fox TV
I
series.
was about
It
to
was.
say, and a really
It was.
good series as
And
well.
a series that should have stuck around much longer than it did. They really
Agreed.
they really shortchanged that series. But
Fox
the
doesn't do that.
artwork.
Come
Oh man! No, let's not. We're already 2
anymore.
hours into this thing. Let's not get me started on that.
Not anymore. They don't.
The artwork, right? The artwork looks to me a lot like Howard Chaykin on that series.
Agreed.
Which is, I mean, you don't see stuff that looks like
How do
Howard
you go
Chaykin.
wrong there?
I kind of want to
Yeah.
say Howard Chaykin had done a Human Target series once before.
He may have, and maybe he did the cover or something, and it doesn't just look like Howard Chaykin. Maybe that is Howard Chaykin. But anyway, thank you, Gary, for telling us that. And I mean, seriously, you should go to the Facebook group and watch out for Gary's posts on comics, because he has a lot of really great suggestions on there, and we appreciate those on there as well, Gary. All right, so up next is Steve. How about that?
I'm so unprepared. No. As Walt can tell you, I'm not a very big frequenter. Is that a word, frequenter? I don't frequent comic book shops very often, but when I do, it's usually with a blind eye because I have no clue what's happening in any series at any given time.
Right.
So
which is why graphic novels are so popular right now.
There is that, yeah. But I always try to go in and see, what's a good series that's just starting up. Where can I get in on the ground level, or when can I get in on a storyline that's just beginning in an existing series? So I got kind of intrigued by Wonder Girl.
Oh, yes.
I don't know much about this, but I do know that just from digging into the book itself, the artwork is friggin' amazing. And I actually just picked this up today, so I'm actually
Seriously
really looking forward to digging into this.
That's funny. That was one of my picks a couple of weeks ago.
I already told him. We'll see. I'm already behind, but
That's
I told Walt that I got suckered into the variant cover.
Oh, it's nice
because it's freaking cool.
Who did that? Was it the same artist?
Rafael Grampa.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah. And it's the green foil on the back.
Oh, nice.
Which is freaking beautiful.
Crud. I want that.
Exactly. Exactly. And it was like, all right, big eyes and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, go ahead and hand it to me. So
Wow.
I'm looking forward to delving into that a little bit.
Okay, that was
Um,
cool.
And also the new Shang-Chi series
Oh, okay.
versus the Marvel Universe.
Who's doing that?
This one is done. That's a good question.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you.
I was kind of.
Honestly, I don't know.
Let me see the cover.
Oh, hang on. Jean Lun Yang and DK Ruan.
Yeah, it's a all Asian cast there.
Yeah,
Cool.
it really is. And the artwork
Yeah, let's see it.
is
Yeah, the artwork is great.
really
Oh,
cool.
wow. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, he's training.
Oh.
He's training Spider-Man.
Oh no, well, no, he's not training Spider-Man in this story.
Mm-mm.
uh,
Here's
yeah.
what'll tell you that right there.
Versus the Marvel Universe. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
what did he he trained Spider-Man in a series? Didn't he?
He did. He
Yes.
trained Spider-Man in one
Yeah,
of
like
Spider-Man's
The Adventures or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right? That's what I heard.
then I started jumping sharks
Okay.
a little bit. I don't know anything about this
I
book,
wrote that one down too, Steve.
but I was incredibly intrigued by this.
Okay. Yeah.
And I
That's-
picked up all 3 books.
Oh my
Oop.
Yeah, that's
All
all.
right, there's
part
only
of
three.
Spider-Man.
There's only 3 of them into this point
All
right
right.
now, so I'm really looking forward to that one as well.
All right.
And Walt will tell you, he'll be the first one to tell you that I am a Carnage whore. I love that character. It is
Right.
always written terribly.
Right.
The book, everything surrounding the character always sucks. And we've had this conversation about the upcoming
We have.
Sure.
Spider-Man movie. That I'm really looking forward to it. I'm still nervous about Woody Harrelson, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, you're not alone.
But I went ahead and picked that up. Extreme Carnage.
I like the cover.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
That's pretty
actually,
salty.
pardon the pun, but it's spawning 2 other series: Lasher, Extreme Carnage Lasher, and Extreme Carnage Riot, which I will be looking for in the near future as well. But then, you also know that I'm a bit of a motorhead, so my childhood was spent reading a book called Cartoons,
Cartoons. Yeah.
and Cartoons.
I haven't
is back.
seen those. I haven't seen one of those in 30 years.
It's back, and the people
That's
that have picked
crazy.
up, yes, the people that have picked up the title have also brought back a majority of the original artists, including
Oh my
George,
God.
including
Oh, wow,
George
that's cool.
Crosley, and they still do his art tutorials. They
That's
don't
crazy.
have the iron-ons anymore. Dang it! But they do have insider posters. So any of the feature artists
Cool.
for that given month also do a pull-out poster. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And then following into our Thundercats Silverhawks conversation from earlier, and
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
also seen me pull this up.
Uh-oh.
yeah.
I remember that.
That's
I remember.
Panthros gig there.
That's
Yes.
the Thunder Tank.
Thunder Tank.
The Thunder Tank.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I finally managed to find one and
That's a
pick one
Hot
up.
Wheels.
Yes,
It's
it
a
is.
Hot Wheels Thunder Tank. Yeah.
That is cool.
And the arms and the tread all move. I've got another one of these, so don't worry about that right now. This one's going to stand back. But yeah,
I didn't know that they
that's-
did that. That's crazy.
That's my most recent shopping spree, and I'm
All
really
right.
looking forward to delving into all of it.
Hey, that's a pretty good haul too. Not bad. Back to Gary. Gary says DC Black Label is awesome for creating great limited series content for people getting back into collecting comics like him
That's exactly
and
where
like
I'm
the
at.
rest of us.
That's
Wonder
exactly where
Girl
I'm at.
art is incredible, he says, and Supergirl by Tom King is a must get. I've heard good things. I think Scott talked about Supergirl.
Well, I'm pleased
well.
with my choices.
Yeah, I think you did pretty good. All right, Walt, you are up.
Okay, so this past week or so, I went back into, because I have this big vast DVD collection, and I wanted to watch something fun, not very good, but still very fun and to watch.
Those are the
So,
best.
DOA, Dead or Alive, based off the old video game,
Wow.
and
Wow.
and
Dynamite Extreme.
I'm
Yeah,
kind of freaking out over here.
I
Actually,
I watched it. I watched it and I had the same reaction as I did the very first time I watched it. I was like, oh my God, this is bad, but I can't turn away. But, like I said, it's a fun movie. It's not the greatest. It's not, nobody's ever made a perfect video game movie. Nobody has ever made one.
Right.
And probably nobody will ever make a perfect video game movie. But, it's got Jamie Presley in it. What all do you need?
I was gonna say you can just stop right there.
But
Hitman was pretty.
But it's
good.
also got Kevin Nash as her dad, and of course, every movie like this, low budget action movie has got to have Eric Roberts as the villain, and Eric Roberts
You're
is
damn right it
villain.
does.
Yes.
So really what's really cool about this is that the people playing the characters are very capable of pulling off decent fight scenes.
Cool.
Nice.
I guess really the question you have to ask yourself which version of Eric Roberts is in that movie?
Which version? The bad guy version. That's what version.
Okay.
But I had a fun. I had a fun time watching it. In fact, I watched it twice, and I watched it in my theater room. So I watched it at 150 inches. So, and then the other thing that I got is I finally found one. Finally found one. Zartan.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Boy.
And
cool.
so this is my useless purchase for the month, because everybody knows why it's for the month. Anyway, if you're ever wanting to look at really cool package artwork,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Cool.
Well, that's sinister.
Does he?
Yeah.
He doesn't change color, does he?
I don't think he changes color, but they have different artists doing the package artwork on every one of these.
Nice.
That's beautiful
And
stuff. dude.
check out that new Cobra logo.
Oh, those are
That's
cool.
badass.
That is cool.
And then this is
That
the
needs to
artwork
be-
on the back.
Wow.
Wait, go back to those logos real quick. Other side. Okay, yeah, those are friggin' cool.
Yeah, those are very cool.
It's like a crossbones with a
Oh, I
dollar
love the
symbol.
Behind.
Yeah, that's Zartan's little personal emblem right there. So,
Nice.
but yeah, the artwork alone on these on the packages is just really cool.
That's beautiful.
That's
It is.
amazing.
Because
I would put that poster up on my wall.
Yes.
well, hey, if this is one of the reasons why I recommend going to or joining up on Hasbro Pulse. I mean, it's free to join up. They do interviews with all the artists.
Nice.
So there's video interviews with the artists and everything on there. So, but yeah, those are two of the things. And the last thing I want to mention is I did watch the Tomorrow War on on
yes.
Amazon Prime,
Good movie.
and it's a good movie. And but on the flip side, I'm glad they didn't release it at the theater, because it would have bombed at the theater.
Oh,
I mean, it's a really good movie, and for you, Dirk, you know how you don't like this, everything that they shown in the trailer.
right.
None of that is from the third act. I'll just put
Oh,
it
good.
that way.
Good.
So, and in fact,
I
the
don't
way
even
the movie,
think you get anything from the second act in the
you
trailer.
don't get anything from the second act in the
Well,
trailer.
that's great.
So what's really refreshing about the movie is how it ends. I'm not going to go into it
All right.
because it spoils it. I just know that at the beginning, when they do get to the fighting, the very first part of it sucked.
Yeah.
And I don't mean sucked as in the movie sucked. I mean, what happens to these people
Yeah.
sucked.
Oh yeah.
So
It had some very pleasant holy S moments in it.
yes,
yeah.
it has some
Oh,
very good holy, you know what, moments in it. So I was very pleased with it. I'm glad it went straight to streaming, because it's probably doing better streaming than it would have done at the movie theater.
Right.
So, and
Cool,
that's
man.
all. That's all I've consumed.
Cool.
I don't know if I would necessarily agree that it would have done bad. It would have to depend on what weekend they released it.
No,
I don't think it wouldn't have done gangbusters by any means.
no, it wouldn't have done gangbusters. It would have. I would say that it would probably do well for 2 weeks. It wouldn't go. It wouldn't go any further. It wouldn't go any further than 2 weeks before the numbers would totally plummet.
Its money and its Rotten Tomatoes score would definitely be through the floor if it had gone into big theater.
If they had gone to the theater,
it's a popcorn movie for sure. It's
definitely a popcorn movie.
How are the effects?
The effects are great.
They are outstanding.
What I would say is if you look at like some older movies that were specifically.
Michelle wants to know what the name of your movie was.
The Tomorrow War.
Is that the one you're talking about, Michelle?
Yes,
it's on Amazon. Yeah,
it's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Chris Pratt. It's pretty much whenever you flip over to Amazon Prime, it's the big banner.
It's the movie. Yeah.
Gary says the creatures are cool.
The creatures were very cool.
That's one of those holy yes moments I was talking about. The first time they ever show one of those, you're just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And how durable they were. It was
exactly.
Was very interesting. It's a great action movie. It really illustrates why Chris Pratt is a great action hero. I don't think a lot of people give him enough credit, being that he's in action movies, but he doesn't do a whole lot of action per se. And in this, he really does. He really gets to be that dare I say Rambo type character.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a fun movie. A lot of older movies, the CGI does not translate to streaming all that well because it was filmed, certain.
Right.
And now everybody's TV and streaming services are 4K and
4K.
Super detail, so you can see the makeup. You can tell that critter's a CGI character against
green screen
and our actors are against a different green screen and nothing's merging right and whatnot. Not this. It was an excellent film in that respect. The visual effects I think were top notch.
The guy that played Charlie is genius. I need him to be in a lot of things from now on because he was so much fun.
Charlie, that was the nervous guy.
The teacher. Teacher?
No, he was an engineer or something like that. He was science, so I can't remember. Sciencey.
I thought he was a teacher. Yeah, he was a teacher.
Was he a teacher?
No, wasn't the teacher. He wasn't a teacher. Sorry. That was Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt was a teacher.
Chris Pratt was a teacher.
My bad.
There's a movie upcoming with him about werewolves.
I'm in.
Agreed, Gary.
I can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Gary says first act I felt like Pratt was mailing it in, but once the second act hits, he's awesome.
Yeah, because the first act, it's like typical Chris Pratt,
right?
Chris Pratt character, whatever, and then they hit that second act, and boom, it's like you're watching what is it? What was that movie he did where they were 13, whatever? The thing about Benghazi. Anyway,
13 hours or something.
No, he was in
Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30. That's it.
Yeah.
And that character clicks in.
Great movie that.
And then it's and then there's a mixture, and then it goes to a mixture of Chris Pratt and that character, and it's like I said, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Werewolves Within, which you can rent on Amazon Prime. It's on let's see, Google Play Movies, Apple TV, Vudu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, but they're all for rent.
Yeah.
There's no.
Gary said it reminded him of Edge of Tomorrow. That's pretty high praise.
Yeah, there's a good feel of that in there too.
He said
I would actually say a little bit better.
Yeah, I really well. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
And then here again, we're talking time travel, so
I like time travel.
yeah. So
I just haven't watched it yet.
I recommend it.
The premise of it
I
is
will.
fantastic.
I mean,
the
I
execution,
I have
the
Prime.
execution was a little lacking, but it was the premise of it was.
The
if there's
premise-
a book of it out there somewhere, I'd love to read the book.
The premise was a refreshing premise, and towards the end of it, you could tell it's a little predictable, and that's where the execution comes in. But still, I recommend it.
I would like to add that I've never seen J.K. Simmons in this fantastic of a physique ever. I mean, Chris Pratt said that he was.
He's much more jacked than you think he is, because usually he's wearing like a long sleeve shirt or whatever.
And you never see how
Right.
he's. Chris Pratt said that he was in what did he call it? Prison strength. I think he referred to, because he is jacked.
He's jacked. What was that word earlier? Veiny.
Yeah. And
not turgid.
he's running around, wearing sleeveless shirts through, and you're like,
tank tops. Yeah. You're like,
all right, rock on, dude.
Yeah.
I could only pray to look that good at.
Well, he started the whole workouts to do
Commissioner Gordon.
Justice League. Yeah. Which we never got to see him do anything in that as that character. So
Sucks.
that was a waste of time.
Oh, Gary's going to bring us something on Saturday.
Oh,
I'm pretty
fantastic.
excited.
Cool.
Says he has an extra copy of Seven to Eternity, collected.
Excellent.
Well, when you're done with it, mail it down here.
Love to see it.
One last
Thank
thing
you,
one last thing I'd like to mention is the last episode of Bad Batch last week introduced a character from Rebels,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
a younger version of a character from Rebels. So,
okay.
and I'm not going to say much about that because if you haven't seen it, you need to go see it now.
You were telling me about that
watched-
yesterday, and
I haven't watched any of those yet.
It's been so long since I've watched any of the Clone Wars. I went back and started over.
I need to watch the last season of Clone Wars and then
The last season of you know what? If anything, just watch the last 4 episodes of the last season. I'm not saying that the whole thing, the other episodes aren't good, whereas because it starts off with the Bad Batch, and then there's like some filler stuff, and then we go back to the Bad Batch. Like the Bad Batch literally starts up right after where you saw them in the Clone Wars. So
Cool.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to do my on blast. I'll do it as quick as I can here. I have been, I'm gearing up to do some novel writing, and when I do that, I like to read novels. Stephen King says you should be reading as much as you're writing, and I think that's probably good at, you might take some advice from a guy who's probably the biggest writer in the business.
He's a hack.
So, so over the long 4th of July weekend, I went and stayed with my mom for a few days. And during a lot of that time, I was reading. And I didn't read these full books, but I finished 3 books over that weekend. And the first one that I finished, because I'd started a little bit earlier, was a Wizard of Earthsea. If you're not familiar with that, it's by Ursula Le Guin. And it is basically Harry Potter, but it was written back in the 60s. They claim that this was the first fantasy book for teenagers. That's what they say. That's the way that they describe it. I enjoyed it. It was actually quite good. And one of the reasons why I wanted to read this is because I'm kind of trying to figure out how to construct a couple of different magic systems, and I heard that this was a great book to get into how people learn magic and that sort of thing. Anyway, it was good. It's good stuff. The second book that I read was Electric Forest by Tanith Lee. The reason why I wanted to read Tanith Lee who is mostly known as a fantasy author. This is a science fiction novel. Is because I kept hearing how poetic her words were. I like little poetry in my prose, and she definitely brought that. Her descriptions of things are really beautiful. And this is a very interesting kind of Philip K. Dick style story, where this woman who is ugly gets put into an avatar that is gorgeous and has to learn how to interact with the world where originally no one was, would interact with her. Now everyone wants her attention. It's very interesting the way that she does this. This book, unfortunately, was spoiled by the last chapter. The last chapter should be excised from this and then re-released. This would make a good. I don't know why someone hasn't made a little, a cheap movie about this, because this would make a good movie. The premise is there. It's it's basically about downloading yourself into another body. That's kind of a thing that we talk about now.
It's probably because of that last chapter.
And again, right. And again, this was written back in the 60s. So, it's, you can compare it to other stuff, but this was first.
I don't know, but I'm digging that cover.
Yeah, it was awesome, right?
That cover was pretty cool.
And then I finished a book called The Paper Magician by Charlie Holmberg. This is a book that is going to be made into a film, and I'd swear that Steven Spielberg was involved with it or whatever. And again, it's a deal about someone who is learning magic. So that's the reason why I wanted to read this. And it's very interesting because you have like fire magicians, and then you have like what is it, like stone magicians and some other stuff. Anyway, this is things like people will fold paper and then animate it. It's really wild. It gets really esoteric in the middle of it. It's pretty cool. The best thing about this is the characters. The characters in this are really good. You get pretty wrapped up in the characters.
There's an anime I need you to watch.
Oh yeah, bring it. Let's have it. The last thing that I want to what is the anime? Might as well say it so everyone knows.
Well, I don't remember right off the top of my head,
Oh, okay.
but it's on my shelf.
I'm going to be watching some Full Metal Alchemist. By the way,
I say thanks for building that up and then just dropping it.
Kind
Sean.
of-
Appreciate it.
finally, I want to
I
talk
had my
about
pen
something.
ready to write it down, and now I'm all like,
And no, and no.
He was talking about folding paper and animating it, and there's this anime
I
where
think
there
I know
were.
which one you're talking about.
That does that.
I don't want to say that they're superheroes, but they have these abilities. And this one, she folds paper and uses it as weapons. One of them, she's trying to escape a bad guy, and she basically folds this. She just takes paper and folds it into a giant paper airplane and flies away.
That's cool.
I know that movie. I know which one you're talking about. It's on the top
That's
of my
pretty
head.
cool.
A bad guy attacks, and she just whips out paper, several pages of paper, and then like grabs a hold of one, and it turns into like a whip, where she's striking at the bad guy.
Sounds kind of like what they do in this book. The book is kind of a steampunk type thing. It's set back in like the late 1800s, Victorian style stuff. Anyway, it'd make an interesting movie. The last thing I want to mention is something that is, this is an actual book that I have here. Is anyone familiar with these myth books by Robert Asprin by any chance?
No.
I used to read these back in the 80s and into the 90s. There's maybe 8 of them that they did. Is anyone familiar with Robert Asprin?
No.
I'm not even familiar with these books of which you speak.
What's a book?
Book.
I looked these up. Like, when you look for a book now, you see if you can download it. The other books that I mentioned were all Kindle books that I read. I looked up Robert Asprin, and it's like, there's not much out there. And I'm thinking, one of the things that I think is kind of interesting is, if you're not being re-released as an ebook, I guarantee you are going to cease to exist. I went down to Half Price Books and I picked this up. but I can't find the first few books, and I can't even get the first few books on Amazon. They're just not out there. It's called Myth Adventures, and each of them is kind of a take on myth.
And they're all by Asprin?
They're all by Robert Asprin. He did another thing. He did another series about, it was kind of a mercenary type thing called like Fool's Gold, Phuhl, Fool's Gold. And anyway, they're funny, but the first few books are about a guy who learns magic. And I remember that the process that they explain how these things are was really interesting to me, because he explains how to do magic. And so I really wanted to read those first few things. But what a shame that people are not reading these things. These are funny and they're entertaining. These are good books. Robert Asprin. He also edited some books, like a shared world where they do, like people will write a short story, and then fill up a book with all these different short stories in this world. He did some of that too. But I'm amazed that Robert Asprin is kind of not as much an entity anymore.
Can you hold that back up again?
Yep.
Can I see the cover?
Yep. This is about halfway through the series. It's called Little Myth Marker.
Fascinating. Okay.
They're fun.
Now I'm curious.
They're not, they're not long, and but they're really well written, and the characters in these things are so good, and he continues to build his cast throughout these books. So anyway,
And
there
Shawn,
it is. That's what I'm reading, about halfway through that.
Read or Die.
I've got the cover of
Did
Kevin
Steve
Woodfair.
just take that challenge to find the first two books?
It's unfortunate, but I might have. That's one of those that really intrigues me. Now that you've shown us the first book, at least I'm kind of curious to read them myself. So I may have to.
It's
take
called
that
Myth
challenge up.
Adventures.
Yeah,
Myth
I wrote it
Adventures.
down.
And then I think the second is called Another Fine Myth.
Okay. Well, I'll have better luck searching it by author. But
Once you get one of the, I got this at Half Price Books.
And
I'll find the rest.
The name of that anime was Read or Die. Adult
Paper
Swim
Sisters.
ran it.
That's Paper Sisters.
Yeah.
Isn't that Paper Sisters?
All right. Is this what you have here, Shawn?
Yes.
Yeah. Read or
Oh,
Die.
that's Paper Sisters.
It's called Read or Die.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Adult
there's-
Swim had shown this a few years back.
Really?
And that's where I saw it, and then I went and bought the
Interesting.
DVD right after. I know there's a series. I haven't watched the series, but the movie, which is Miss Paper, was
Miss Paper. That's what I was trying to think of.
absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it was a great thing. A really great thing. A really, really great thing.
So definitely, if you're into the animes, check that.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I wrote
It's
that
promo
down
time.
too.
Let's not take forever on this, folks. First off, I'm going to go to Steve on this. Where should we find you, man?
Well, no wonder you went to me first, because mine is going to be by far the shortest.
It's brief.
All I have is my own personal portfolio website. There it is right there, 918art.com, 918 because I'm from Tulsa. And that basically is just a showcase of all the stuff I've done, both ad work, logo work, all my graphic design and art direction stuff, and soon to have some of my former I used to have an illustration talent. I don't anymore. Because of this stupid thing called a mouse that has really kind of taken over my life. But
It comes back, man. But you
yeah,
gotta,
I hope so.
you gotta work it. But it comes
like I was
back.
telling you earlier, I picked up a pencil yesterday for the first time.
I heard that.
For God knows how long, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping to get back into the sketching.
It's a lot of fun, man. Once you get that bug.
I got so many bugs, though. Anyway,
I know. I get it.
That's it. That's it for me. All my contacts info is on there. Shawn, if you have any overflow work, we've talked about that too. As if logos are part of my party. So let's rock.
You know,
Hey.
the biggest pain in my ass I haven't heard from in like 3 months. So that might have worked itself
Did you
out.
finally wrap that up, you think? The never ending logo? He wanted you to put multiple versions of the logos. Plus, he wouldn't go like, this is the final version, let's work on this. He wanted to work on multiple versions and then see how they work. And then here's the kicker. He wanted to put trademark TM on. He wanted to see what it looked like on each of those versions, TM, and registered, because he might register it too. So he wanted to see what that looked like on each of those.
Was his name Dirk? Does he have a show called Taskforce Geek?
It is not me, I promise. Because I've done logos. I would never do. I try to.
I'm
look,
just messing.
Shawn has done logos for me, and I try so hard not to do that.
Hey, Steve. It's reminiscent of Make the Bird Angry.
Sometimes I'll ask him to develop a couple.
Oh my God!
It's reminiscent of Make the Bird More Angry.
Don't. Don't. You
Your
won't
solution.
Hey,
your solution was beautiful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It was more based in sarcasm, but then again, that's pretty much where I live. So, but yeah, don't do that. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Steve, it's okay to say. Do you want to say that you are currently looking for a job in the graphic design industry?
Yes. I am very much available for.
You never know who's watching.
And that's exactly right. And that's the whole basis of networking.
Can't hurt.
Yeah. My whole education is based in art direction, advertising, logo design, graphic design, print production work, voiceover work, television commercial shooting, casting, photography. So if any of the above is needed, I am at your service.
Awesome. All right, Shawn, we're going to you, man.
Okay. As always, you can find me at rankingstudios.com. You can also find me at Facebook.com/Ranking Studios. Please stop by, check us out, check myself out along with my studio mates, Dirk, Scott, and Robert. We've got lots of artwork up in our individual portfolios. I've just recently completed and posted my own commission page, similar to Dirk. So if you go to my portfolio, you like what I do and you want to see more of it, feel free to check out the commission page, check out the prices, and drop me a line. We'll do some.
What kind of stuff do you offer on there, man?
What do I offer on there?
Character design. Character design.
I do character illustrations. I also do logo title designs. So far,
logos.
If
I'll show the logo that you did for me here soon. Maybe next episode.
But feel free to check it out. Drop me a line. Heck, if anything, just send me an email saying I suck or keep at it. Whatever. Just talk to me.
And I will also say on the subject of Ranking Studios that we have a couple of projects that are coming up, and either of those projects will find their way to the Ranking site. So if you're interested in comics or whatever, or illustration stuff, Robert's stuff is going to be up on there, and we have some collaborative things that we've done that's finally coming out soon, hopefully. So keep an eye on there.
Oh, are we losing you, Dirk?
Are you?
A little bit. Yeah, you're fuzzy.
Sorry, man.
That's all right.
By the way, Dirk, side note, I just found your books.
How about now? How am I now?
It's getting better.
How you like me now?
It's better.
You found which books did you find?
Your Asprin books.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Cool. Very cool. I would particularly like to read the first couple because it's very much about, learning how to be a wizard, which is kind of what I want, where they explain.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I want to be a wizard. I don't know about the rest of you.
All right. Well, do I need to put you up large?
No, we're going to keep it short here. So right. I'm just going to post everything where you can find me there. And, there's we want to turn that off. But there we go. there's a
That's what's
slideshow. These are all the places where you can find me, and there's a little bit of sampling of some of the artwork I've done. That takes you back.
A long time.
Takes you back, doesn't it, Steve? Takes you back. So
Wow.
a little bit of sampling of some of the stuff that I do. Pretty much some of the same stuff Steve does.
Man.
You know, my professional life, I make logos, you know, page layout, you know, all that stuff. So, and these are the places you can find me. I just got on Behance this week.
Oh,
And,
yeah. I want to follow up on that.
And Behance is really, let's just say if you've been on DeviantArt, let's just amp that up, you know, put some more stuff on there and just amp it up really big. So
Honestly, I'm a little intimidated by the quality of people on Behance.
Behance, yeah, there's a lot of really
They're pretty
professional.
good.
There's a lot of professional people on there.
Where I don't feel that way on DeviantArt.
Some people I like. Some people I actually worked with are on Behance. In fact, some of my collaborative work are on those people's Behance page. So,
Right.
but yeah, check out.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's brilliant.
So,
I can't believe you brought up the Rocketeer, man. That's brilliant.
thank you very much. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's it.
I love it.
Cool Mo Diggity. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. I did get through doing 3 illustrations for a Japanese toy company over the past week.
Toy company.
I love it. I love it when you say
adult toy company, which will show up on packaging in about a month, which I am very excited about.
That's quick.
I wanted very much to get some work like that and getting an international deal, getting it in the field that I got it, getting something that's going to not just be buried, but actually put on a package and put out there internationally. That's a pretty big deal, folks. So I'm pretty excited about what's happening there. If you're interested, I have all that silly stuff down there. You guys have seen it many times. If you're watching the show,
on your package design.
Well, they just gave me the specifications and they just wanted an illustration. They're going to do all of the graphics and stuff. So what they wanted was a pretty girl. And so that's definitely something that I could do. I had no problem doing that. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. It's a Japanese toy company, folks, and it's going to be. This will be released in Germany and all over Europe. And I'm
you're not finding this stuff at Walmart.
You are not finding that stuff there.
Well, it's a Japanese Walmart.
Shell, I guess, wants some of those toys. It is what it is like a how can I say this? It's like a package deal where you get a lot of different things. It's not just one thing; it's multiple things.
That is deliciously vague.
Things. Restrictive things.
Yes,
I wanna
things for adults.
Confining.
Things for adult couples.
I want to see the artwork.
Fuzzy, confining things.
You know,
I really want to see the artwork.
What?
Oh,
goody. I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to it because I asked about that and they said, let's wait until we put it.
Oh no.
And then I can make a big deal out of it.
No, what I mean is I'm waiting to see the finished product. I can't wait to see it because
Yeah, me too.
So
me too.
I think we're all looking forward to seeing that, Derek.
Are you a Shell? Are you?
Oh, yeah.
You have to be a certain age.
That is one of those you kind of have to ask a question.
That's it, folks. Look, hey, thanks to everyone who participated tonight. Steve, thanks for joining us here kind of at the last minute. You came to the rescue. I sure appreciate that.
I love being here, and it is an honor to be included. I appreciate y'all having me. I hope I haven't overstayed my welcome.
You have not, and I think that you gave us a great idea for another episode. So we will definitely have you back for that. And anyway, thank you very much for your participation. In addition to that,
and one last thing,
most of the time. Also, hey,
thank you very much.
Thanks to Michelle, thanks to Gary, all of the people that chimed in tonight.
And one last thing to those viewers out there that I've been repeating this now. Be sure to, if you see anything that's interesting, and you're on Instagram and Twitter, even on Facebook, be sure to hashtag us Taskforce Geek.
Yeah.
Let's get that going out there. Let us know about it. If you've got If you got any,
What?
Hey, what?
Dude, what? Number one is way past your bedtime. Number two, we mentioned Lord of the Rings. We mentioned the Wheel of Time. Where were you on all of this?
Where you been?
What the heck? What the heck?
Where you been?
We had a seance with Frank Frazetta.
You need to go back
Yeah.
Which was a little creepy, by the way.
and watch the rest of this episode.
Ronnie.
We were
Ronnie.
raising our shirts
This
above
was
our
the Ronnie-
heads
Yes.
No.
and
Ronnie.
running around saying cornholio.
You
Like,
missed.
That was Sean.
I am
That was Sean. I'm
Cornholio.
not guilty.
mhm.
I need some tippy for my bunghole.
I am. Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?
Phil
Shut
says
up.
you are late.
But
Family
yes,
stuff.
but yes,
Family
everyone.
stuff.
Yes, everyone.
You tell
be-
your family that it's Taskforce Geek Night.
yes. Be sure to hashtag it.
Ronnie,
Hey, we were talking
Hashtag
about
Task Force Geek.
family stuff.
there's so much stuff that you missed tonight,
family
Ronnie.
stuff,
Holy
like
cats.
Japanese sex toys. You know,
Yeah. We did the whole show.
it's all
Whole
good.
show.
The whole show, boy.
So thank you,
Thanks
for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for chiming in, Ronnie. We appreciate you dropping by, even at the end. At the very end. Thanks also to Shawn and Walt, who are always awesome. Thanks for the goodies. Who are mostly awesome. Who are predominantly awesome.
Hey, I gotta be honest. Hey, they must be, or else I wouldn't be here every Tuesday. Right?
That's right. That's right.
They're tolerable.
Ronnie says family suck. Ronnie officially said that family sucks. So there you go. All right, folks. Thanks for watching the show. We appreciate it. Thanks everyone for chiming in tonight. We always appreciate that. Walt and I will be back on Thursday to talk about the finale of Loki. And everyone, really everyone's invited. If you can
And
get
Beth.
off, if you can,
See
and
you in
Beth,
the comment section.
if you want to get in on the show on Thursday, it's going to be the big finale, the big finale.
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
You're sad that what? That
It's only 6 episodes. This is it. It's
I know
over.
it's terrible. It's terrible
This
that
will
this is
be
the end of it.
This
It
will be
seems
busy that day
It
because
seems-
I'll be back on the comment.
it seems like
All
once it got going, it's already over.
Yeah.
Sad.
It sure has been good though.
It
Anyway,
has.
whatever
We got What If coming.
whatever happens, we'll be here on Thursday. Please tune in at 3 p.m. Central. We'd love to have you. We had a great turnout this last week. Holy cats, people I hadn't heard from in forever, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to get maybe a different crowd because it's during the day.
Don't forget to mention how many subscribers we have now on YouTube.
We have over 550 subscribers on YouTube.
So we're
Get to
close.
chiming in, 550.
I know, man. Seriously, it's so tough. I gotta eat. It's 10 p.m., folks. It's time to wrap
Is
it up.
Ronnie leaving? I'm so sad.
Yeah, Ronnie, we're just getting started, man.
You just got here, man.
Yeah.
Michelle says she never watches Loki until Friday night. Well, you can still watch the wrap-up show. You don't have to watch it live,
Well,
Yeah,
we
you-
put together our car
although
show.
it's better live.
We do. I'm working on modifying Sean's Task Force Geek logo to represent the racing league.
Oh,
By the
sweet,
way.
really?
Nice.
That car that you posted, Steve,
Yes, sir.
beautiful.
Super awesome.
It's kick-ass.
Thank you.
That
He sent that to me, and I didn't see it till I contacted him today, and I'm like, how did I miss this?
Well, that was
Oh,
another
no.
one, Derek. I sent that.
Oh,
one to
okay.
You I sent that one to you a long time ago. That they're
Okay.
talking
Oh,
about
you're talking about the one with the funky pattern on the hood.
Yeah, yeah.
That it on the hood. It's on the entire car.
It's
That
on the entire
texture
car.
is beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Great
is.
job. Great job on that.
It is.
Walt's put together some amazing ones as well. I think by the time it's all said and done, we've got quite a collection.
We're gaining viewers.
Purple and
Hey,
green. Yeah.
We're gaining
Walt
viewers,
set a bar.
guys.
Yeah.
Walt set a bar.
How bonkers is that?
I mean, if anything, if we can get people to play who don't know how to create libraries or don't want to create libraries, we've got enough to share.
Livery.
Livery, excuse me. Anyway, we've got enough to share for anybody who wants to be involved. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll put them up on the page.
We'll put. I think my goal is to try and do at least a livery for every available vehicle that's playable. So
There you
Wow.
go. That's a lot, dude.
You need
It
a
might be.
Spicy King car.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Just saying.
Uh-oh.
I'd like
That would be hot.
if we could get some caricatures of ourselves. That would be great to put one of all of us or each of us on there. So
Actually, I'd like to put together a ranking car.
yeah, we
That would
could.
be
We
awesome.
could.
By all means.
Sean
We
has
could.
some stuff, some ranking stuff that he hasn't shown.
I mean, if you
We'll
got
do
some,
that sometime.
Available.
if you got some logos, I mean,
Send them.
Sean's been busy.
I mean,
on stuffs.
I can really see a what is it? Plain State Graphics. Look at that grin on his face. Yeah.
It was my first studio. I miss Plain State. You bring up Plain State Graphic. My mother just recently.
He's
My
like,
There's
I want
like-
to
there's
eat.
like-
recently.
There's like we need to go.
I mean,
Frank.
we're gaining watchers though. So what can you say?
My mother just recently framed like the original.
People are like,
under
are those guys still on?
my original under construction page that I had for my very, 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 very first website, and my original Plain State Graphics logo. She had a nice frame put up, it's hanging in her house. Awesome. It's funny you bring that up. Literally, we just saw that.
That's cool.
What was it? Sunday. It was Sunday on the way over to Scott's house.
Is that one of those old 16-bit under construction signs?
No.
That rotated and had the flashing red and blue light?
I used to have
no.
that on my website.
We all did.
Good Lord. Those were the
Uh,
MySpace days.
Oh, the
Oh, man,
late
the
'90s.
little construction guy?
Yeah, the late '90s, early 2000s. Boy, were those great years.
Mm.
Were they?
Well, I
Get
don't
away.
remember them all that well, so
So yeah.
they must have been something.
Hey, there weren't any digital cameras then, so yeah, they were great
you.
years.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's so true.
No proof.
All right. For Steve, for Walt, and for Sean, thanks to everyone for watching us. Until next time, this is Dirk Hooper saying, dream hard.
Go eat.
I am.